Twinsies.
To...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom.
Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Matt Blatt Kia's President's Day prices are so low, it's likely to cause a stampede. 26 Kia Sportage, $129 per month. 25 Kia Telluride, $159 per month. Or finance with 0 down and 0 payments for 90 days.
Matt Blatt Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township.
It's got to be a Matt Blatt Kia.
24-month leases, $56.99 due at signing, plus licensing, registration, and taxes. No security deposit. On approved credit through KMF. Expires month end.
Home of the Sports Bash with Mike Gill, 97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City.
Finally!
This is Hanging with Hennig.
I have friends everywhere.
On 97.3 ESPN Radio, South Jersey.
In New Jersey. Am I right? Yeah.
Live feed on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
It seems to run on some form of electricity.
Well, you're not wrong.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together.
Now, here's your host.
He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Josh Hennig.
Josh Hennig broadcasting live from Mike's Seafood. One Walk for Autism here on 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle. Streaming live on YouTube and X. We are live here at Excursion Park in Sea Isle City. And to be blunt with you, I literally just got yelled at because I was trying to fix the speakers here on location, and people got really mad. I was fixing the speakers. But we're here. We're live on 97.3 ESPN FM, streaming live on YouTube and X. They're getting ready to start the run walk behind me on the promenade. I'm to my right is the big heated tent where they'll be announcing all the prizes and all the giveaways for the event today. Mike's Seafood, One Walk for Autism, because any day you can do something with children with disabilities. It is a good day. Glad to have everybody on board the show today. We got a lot to get to today on the radio here on 97.3 ESPN. Obviously, the Phillies of Spring Training. We got a little Phillies news that popped off a couple of hours ago. Billy Schweim in the locker room with Nick Earnshaw. I talked about it a little bit earlier here on 97.3 ESPN. We're also going to get into what is the latest with the Eagles in the NFL, as well as the Sixers at the NBA All-Star break. You might not know this, but the All-Star break is this weekend. You might not know it because, frankly, the NBA All-Star break has become one of the most dull and boring things on the planet with a bunch of random nobodies who are involved in it. So it's kind of lost its luster, but we'll get into all that as well. Here's the guest lineup we got coming up today here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Coming up at 1 o'clock, we will be joined by Sporting News NFL writer Andy McNamara. We'll get the latest from him as the Eagles have pretty much established their coaching staff. We'll get Andy's thoughts on that, as well as, you know, a lot of teams are actually finalizing their coaching staff. It's amazing that it's February 14th and NFL teams are just now solidifying their coaching staff. It's actually pretty nuts when you think about it. Also, coming up, we will be talking with John Leonardo. John Leonardo is a South Jersey boxer. He's undefeated. He's an up-and-coming star in the boxing world. He'll be fighting with Boxing Insider Promotions on Saturday, March 7th at Tropicana Showroom in Atlantic City. Also, on top of all of that, we also get to the NBA. So we got NBA insider Brandon Scoopy Robinson joining us at 2:25. On top of all of that, again, as I mentioned, we are here at the Mike's Seafood Run Walk for Autism in Sea Isle City. They are just starting now the run and the walk on the boardwalk. And we'll be talking with Mike Monachetti coming up at 2 o'clock to recap today's event here in Sea Isle City. Text board is open as always at 609-403-0973. For you to join the conversation, because we are going to start with the Phillies news, because this has become the week of the Nick Castellanos drama. And, you know, it was literally out of nowhere on Thursday that the Nick Castellanos news dropped. It was like out of nowhere, basically. And they release him. And I thought one of the interesting things that happened, you know, recently was some of the things that were said about him by guys like Schwarber and others. You know, Kyle Schwarber is a guy Kyle Schwarber is a guy who's always been honest, right? He's somebody who is brutally honest. He's not going to get up there and BS anybody, right? Well, I don't think for 1 minute that the Phillies wanted Kyle Schwarber on the team anymore, because the way Schwarber and other guys kind of talked about him, it does validate the Matt Gelb from the Athletic story, saying that, basically this is a guy in Castellanos that had worn out his welcome. This was a guy who was more of a selfish individual. He might have done some nice things for people, but he wasn't a great, teammate. And we've all had people like that in our lives, people who we work with who we might like them maybe to hang out with a little bit here and there, but we don't want to work with them. We don't want to see them every day. You definitely don't want to live with them, right? We all have that friend who's like, you're good friends, but you never want to live with the guy, right? So to me, that's how I look at Castellanos. And I think now that we have moved forward and Castellanos has a new home, which is what the breaking news was earlier this morning, right before 10 a.m., that Nick Castellanos is joining the San Diego Padres. And it just goes to show you that Castellanos could have been traded, but he wasn't. And that's why I really liked what Charlotte Barnes from The Athletic told me yesterday when I was filling in for Mike Gill on the Sports Bash, because she talked about how it is surprising that Castellanos didn't get released or traded sooner.
At the beginning of the offseason, I definitely thought it was going to happen then, because it was pretty clear from the start that was their intent. I sort of understand why it unfolded the way it did, because I think the Phillies were just waiting for the market to play out and see, hey, who wants an outfielder for really cheap? And someone's still going to get an outfielder for really cheap wherever he signs. It's just the Phillies are going to be paying most of his salary.
And I think that was the real key variable, is the fact that I'm on the radio. So it's the key variable that they could have done this earlier. They could have moved on from Castellanos sooner, but they didn't. And so now it created this awkward dynamic where guys are being forced to answer questions about Castellanos in the locker room the last 2 days. And, Dave Dombrowski didn't help the situation. I mean, that guy is such a pompous schmuck. He sits there and he's like, oh, what do you mean? What are you talking about? And then he admits that everything that basically has been reported or that Castellanos said is all true. The Phillies mismanaged the situation from the beginning. And we basically have to endure this little storm. It's like, for example, we had that crazy weather storm that came through a few weeks ago here in South Jersey, right? The snow, the ice. You had to endure it, and you got through it. And now today it's a beautiful sunny day here in Sea Isle City with the Mike Seafood Run Walk for Autism, is where I am today here on 97.3 ESPN. But we had to endure the ice tundra before we got to this point. The Phillies are having to do the same thing because they waited so long to move on from Castellanos. It created unnecessary drama. And now that Castellanos is a Padre, there's good and bad news. The good news is that the Phillies don't need to have his cancer in the locker room anymore. The bad news is that you will see Castellanos later this year. And I'm sure Castellanos is going to have some snarky, just overgrown child immature thing to say when he comes to Philadelphia and plays them later this year. So to me, I look at it like the Phillies were in a position where I think they were trying to trade him. That was all the reporting out there. But as Matt Gelb and Charlotte Barnes from The Athletic reported, the Phillies basically realized that they took too long to make this decision. They took too long to pull the trigger. They were trying to wait out the market. And the problem when you wait out the market is sometimes the market waits you out. And this is why for someone like me, Josh Hennig here on 97.3 ESPN, broadcasting live from Mike Seafood Run Walk for Autism in Sea Isle City, this is what angers me about Dave Dombrowski. You have a guy who literally is supposed to be a future Hall of Famer. He's supposed to be this great, wise, and smart guy. He's going to go to the Hall of Fame one day. He took the Marlins and the Tigers and the Red Sox and the Phillies and all built rosters, got to a World Series at least once. So how on earth did he manage this so poorly? I think part of the problem with Dombrowski is that he's become a little too loyal. I think the fact that he drafted Nick Castellanos 12 years ago, I believe it was, the fact that he was intimately a part of Castellanos' development in Detroit, I think is part of the reason why the Phillies and him gave him so much leeway when most organizations would not. I mean, the whole story about how he's on the field having batting practice with his son Liam, and JT Realmuto is not allowed to getting batting practice before a playoff game in of itself is absolutely insane. Like Castellanos, play with your kid somewhere else so Realmuto can get in batting practice. Like those are the type of things that when you hear reports about that, it just makes you wonder, why did the Phillies let this go on for as long as it did? Well, they did it because they were intent, for better or for worse, on trying to make sure that Castellanos was happy and comfortable. At some point, you just got to say no. And I think it took them so long to say no that now they put their players like and Schwarber did not look happy yesterday answering any questions. He looked mad that he had to even answer any questions about this fiasco. So I do think that the Phillies put their players and the whole organization in a disadvantaged situation, all because Dave Dombrowski wanted to help his boy. And that's the biggest problem with the Phillies. The only reason why the Phillies will not win a championship is if Dave Dombrowski stops letting his ego get in the way of doing the right thing. You might be asking me, what is the right thing, Josh? Well, the right thing is to do what is maybe not fun, which is maybe not. Sometimes you can't worry about your relationships and just do what's right for the business. This is a multi-billion-dollar business, Major League Baseball. And I'm supposed to sit here and act like I'm worried about Nick Castellanos' feelings? No. I got 25 other guys to worry about. So now you can move on because he's with the Padres. And I think that the big part of moving on is who's replacing him. For those of you out there, you might not know that the Phillies signed Castellanos' replacement 2 months ago. Former World Series champion, Adolis Garcia. Here was Charlotte Barnes yesterday when I talked to her about Adolis Garcia replacing Nick Castellanos.
He had a great 2023. I mean, that comes to mind when you think of Adolis Garcia. And if they can get him back to what he was, or even just a shell of what he was, I think it would be an improvement. I think what Garcia achieved in 2023 is definitely more than what Brandon has necessarily achieved in a season offensively. So if they can get him, again, any semblance of what he was, like, I think it's a huge gain and an expensive gamble for the Phillies.
But I think it's a worthwhile gamble because you're bringing in a guy that still has a high ceiling. You're bringing in a guy who still has a lot of potential. You're not bringing in some washed up 35-year-old and hoping for the best. It's not like, last year when we talked about who could the Phillies acquire at the deadline and people brought up Andrew McCutchen. You're like, that dude's almost 40 years old. Now you're bringing in a guy in Garcia. He's younger than Castellanos. He's a better defensive player than Castellanos. He's also a guy who has shown to be a clutch postseason performer, unlike half the Phillies roster. So now you're bringing in somebody in Castellanos, getting rid of him. You're bringing in Adolis Garcia. And by the way, unlike Castellanos, who is a self-absorbed, overgrown man-child, Garcia is known to be a great locker room guy. Garcia is known to be a very positive force in a locker room. And you know what? Maybe he needed to change the scenery because he did struggle last year. He did not have a great statistical year. But look what the Phillies did years ago with Brandon Marsh. Brandon Marsh was considered a failed prospect with the Angels. He was a guy who the Angels really thought was going to be their center field of the future. And it didn't work out for them. So the Phillies acquired him. Brandon Marsh's numbers improved the minute he landed in Philadelphia. The minute he came to Philadelphia, he was suddenly an improved player. I think the Phillies are going to be able to get more out of Garcia than the Texas Rangers did last year. They've been working with him all offseason. They've been trying to improve all of his measurables when it comes to the team. So I'm not negative at the addition of Garcia. Now, if you want to tell me that you're frustrated with the Phillies because they've lost in the postseason early multiple years in a row, sure, I can rock with that. If you're telling me that you're looking at the Phillies and saying, I don't know when Zach Wheeler's coming back and I don't know how good he's going to be when he comes back, I can work with that. If you're telling me that the Phillies didn't really improve the roster enough for you this offseason and that adding Adolis Garcia and bringing up Justin Crawford is not enough, I understand that. But let's not act like the Phillies don't have potential. Listen, there is a part of me that says you got to prove it to me. You got to show me what's up before I believe you. But I don't think it's the Sixers. I don't think this is a situation where the Sixers could have made moves and didn't make moves. I think the Phillies legitimately think that adding Brad Keller in the bullpen, I think they believe a full season of Johan Duran as the closer. I think the Phillies believe that Garcia replacing Castellanos, bringing up Justin Crawford, the son of a four-time All-Star, and Carl Crawford to be your new center fielder. And by the way, the story of Justin Crawford working this offseason with former National League MVP award winner Eric Davis to become a better center fielder, I think is a great sign that this young man is hoping and working to be the best version of himself, unlike Matvei Mishkov for the Flyers. So I think there is hope for the Phillies. I'm not predicting a World Series, but I think there's hope. And you know what? Sometimes you just need a little hope. Sometimes you just need a little bit of a good vibe. Sometimes you just need just enough positivity to make it worth your while. We'll check in on the text board in just a moment at 609-403-0973 to get your guys' thoughts. We are broadcasting live from Mike's Seafood Run Walk for Autism in Seattle City. Alex Berard is back in the 973 ESPN studios. I got my buddy Shelby over here helping me out. And, of course, we are here in part thanks to not just Mike's Seafood, who does a great job raising money each and every year, but I want to say a shout-out to Boxing Insider Promotions, returns to Tropicana Showroom in Atlantic City on Saturday, March 7th, with a jam-packed fight card, including undefeated 16-0 fighter from Atlantic City, Justin Figueroa, along with rising star in women's boxing, Leah Lewandowski. If you missed my interview with Leah, you can go to my YouTube channel and catch that from last week when we were at the Piccolo Inn on Road 206 in Chemung. Also on the fight card is going to be South Jersey's own John Leonardo. He will join us coming up at 1:30 today. We'll chat with him about his upcoming matchup as he is a rising star. And Boxing Insider Promotions always puts on a jam-packed fight card, so you do not want to miss it. Saturday, March 7th, Tropicana Showroom in Atlantic City. All right, check on the text board right now, 609-403-0973. I did see one text that came in I did want to get to, at least before we hit the break here. Stephen Ventnor chimes in and says, San Diego has one of the worst farm systems in Major League Baseball. Why didn't they attach a prospect and eat half the contract? It makes no sense for Castellanos out the Padres. Well, Stephen Ventnor, I think that the reason why they didn't make the deal with the Padres is because of the fact that, and again, I'm reading into the situation. I don't have this literally on authority. I don't have this as hard facts and information. I don't know anybody in the Padres organization personally. But I'm piecing everything together. I think here's the problem that happened. And it's the part of the problem with the Phillies organization for why Dave Dombrowski is here and why the Phillies are in this predicament simultaneously. The Padres probably called the Phillies about trading for Castellanos. And there were probably several teams that called him. Santander, he is done for the next several months for the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays could use a DH. The Padres, they need another right-handed bat in their lineup. The Royals could have used another right-handed bat in their lineup. But I think the problem is that a lot of these teams said, if you're going to dump Castellanos on us, we want something. Well, according to a lot of reports, I wrote about an article about this at 973ESPN.com. The Phillies only have 3 players who are in the top 100 prospects in Major League Baseball. All 3 of those players are in spring training right now. Justin Crawford, Aiden Miller, and Andrew Painter. So if people like The Athletic and MLB.com and ESPN.com and all the people who are in the know are saying the Phillies really only have 3 prospects that everybody loves to acquire, who exactly are you throwing into a deal to make it more appealing for the Padres? Now, you can throw out names like Rincones, Gage Wood. You can use those names in conversation between myself, everyone listening on 97.3 ESPN FM, everyone here at the Mike Seafood Run Walk for Autism in Seattle City, everyone listening on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle City. If you're watching on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio at Josh Hennig, we can name names of people in the Phillies organization. But do other teams really want those guys? And are the Phillies really willing to part with those guys? I don't think the Phillies were interested in parting with one of their best prospects just to unload Castellanos' $20 million. I think in their mind, they thought we would rather eat the money than give up on these guys that we have acquired. One of the big reasons why Dave Dombrowski was even hired for this job was because Andy McPhail and Matt Klentak completely failed every Phillies fan. They completely botched every draft. They drafted just complete busts like Mickey Moniak. And I still don't know why they drafted Adam Hazley. I'm totally confused about that. So you have an organization that failed in multiple drafts. They failed to build this team up. That's why they didn't fire Klentak. They came to a mutual agreement. He got reassigned in the organization, and then he left. McPhail retired, so you have to be embarrassed and get fired. So as a result, you brought in these guys for the express purpose of fixing the youth and having a future for this organization. Now you want to trade away that future to get rid of Castellanos? And again, that's where the rub is. We know the Phillies' top prospects are for the Phillies. But the rest of Major League Baseball says there's really only 3 guys in your organization that we even like, maybe 4 at best. How am I supposed to sit there and rationalize, I'm going to give up one of my best prospects, the guy who's part of my future, just to get rid of Nick Castellanos? I think that's the problem, Stephen Ventnor. I appreciate your text chiming in at 609-403-0973. We'll get more of your texts and thoughts throughout the show, as we are broadcasting live from Mike Seafood Run Walk for Autism here in Seattle City. Josh Hennig hanging out with you. Alex Berard is back in the studio here on 97.3 ESPN FM, 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle City. Streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio. And don't forget, one of my new sponsors joining me just starting this weekend here on 97.3 ESPN, Hang Time Bar and Grill on the White Horse Pike in Seattle City in Galloway, Hang Time Bar and Grill in Galloway. Hear more about them right now here on 97.3 ESPN. Your go-to hangout spot for friends and family looking for a night out or to watch sports is located on the White Horse Pike in Galloway. Hang Time Bar and Grill features live music every Tuesday night, DJ bingo every Wednesday night, and plenty of TVs to watch your favorite team play all year round. Plus, don't miss out on Hanging with Hennig broadcasting live at Hang Time Bar in Galloway. First weekend of the biggest college basketball tournament of the year on Saturday, March 21st. Check out Hang Time Bar and Grill on Facebook and Instagram to learn more about their weekly specials and one of the best happy hours in South Jersey on the White Horse Pike in Galloway at Hang Time Bar and Grill.
Making your home look brand new is what Work of Art Construction can do for you. Ready to remodel your bathroom or have a kitchen makeover? Art Masker has 40 years of experience in construction and knows how to make your home look like a work of art. Want to install a new back deck or invest in a new front door? Just call Art Masker at 609-788-4271 to learn more. Visit Work of Art Construction on Instagram to see how Work of Art Construction can make your home look brand new. Beautify your home with Work of Art. Call him at 609-788-4271 and let them make your home truly a work of art.
Tired of the runaround? Then drive over to Bridgeton Auto Mall, your destination for savings. We've slashed prices on our massive selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. Whether you need an SUV for the family, a fuel-efficient sedan, or a truck for the job, we've got the perfect fit and the perfect deal. Our award-winning service department is here for all your needs. From oil changes and tire rotations to major repairs, trust the pros at Bridgeton Auto Mall to keep your ride running like new. Bridgeton Auto Mall on Pearl Street in Bridgeton or on the web at drivebam.com.
This Valentine's Day, celebrate the one you love the most with Hallmark cards at Walgreens. Valentine's Day is the best time to send your favorite person a reminder of just how much they mean to you. A Hallmark card is a super simple and beautiful way to say how grateful you are for the love you two share. Don't forget, Valentine's Day is Saturday, February 14th. Visit Walgreens today to find a Hallmark card that shows just how much you care for them, because love lives here.
Part of the magic at Storybookland in Egg Harbor Township. They're hiring ride operators and food and beverage staff for the season. So be there for the open interview day on Saturday, February 21st between 10 and 3. Whether you're 16, an active senior, or anywhere in between, if you're energetic and reliable, they'd love to meet you. Enjoy a flexible schedule, a supportive team, and top-notch training from certified theme park pros. Join the legendary Storybookland team. Open interview day Saturday, February 21st, 10 to 3. Learn more and apply now at storybookland.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-923-6829 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-923-6829. That's 800-923-6829. What do you have to lose? Call 800-923-6829. Again, 800-923-6829.
That's another amazing run by Team USA.
Mom, think I'll be on Team USA one day?
Well, I'll take this one.
What? Are you speaking to us?
Yes, and to answer your question, anything's possible, especially with Xfinity.
So, I can be the best snowboarder ever?
Well, I can't guarantee that, but Xfinity can guarantee that your internet price won't change for 5 years.
Okay. What if I practice every day?
Then maybe you'll be snowboarding for Team USA at the next Olympic Winter Games. And Mom, you'll still be paying the same price for Wi-Fi.
Ooh, really stuck the landing there.
It's the Xfinity Gold Medal Celebration. Now through February 22nd, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed, just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That's a $10.99 value per month. Xfinity. Imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary.
Caesars Sportsbook, the only sportsbook app with Caesars rewards. Bet like a Caesar and earn perks on every game, like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code Radio250BM and get your first bet matched as a bonus bet up to $250, whether you win or lose. Open to new users in New Jersey who are 21 or older. Minimum odds minus 500. Awarded as a non-withdrawable bonus bet that expires 14 days after receipt. Bonus bet amount not returned for winning bets. Void where prohibited. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now back to Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
I don't want them to gain another yard.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
You blitz all night!
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Did you read Nick's letter yesterday, and what did you make of how the exit played out?
I mean, I saw it. It is what it is, right? That I think the biggest thing that we all wish him the best, right? We've had a lot of really good memories here over the last 4 years, and he's had some really big moments with us, and we wish him the best moving forward, right? Like, it is what it is, but hopefully, wherever he goes next, he's able to keep going out there, keep doing his thing, and keep having those big moments.
That was Phillies MVP candidate from last year, Kyle Schwarber. Very unenthused to be asked about the departure of Nick Castellanos. And listen, if you saw the video, Schwarber looked less interested in talking about the departure of Nick Castellanos than he would have been anything else in his life. Like, he looked like he wanted nothing to do with the topic, and he felt obligated to say something positive. That's what it felt like. Poor Kyle Schwarber. I'm just glad with the Phillies players, this saga is over, that we can finally get rid of the cancer that was Nick Castellanos. Josh Hennig broadcasting live from the Mike Seafood Run Walk for Autism event here in Sea Isle City. It looks like they are just finishing up at least some of the runners and walkers are coming back now. Also want to give a shout out to one of our sponsors for us being out here on 97.3 ESPN. Zia Nicola Pizza over on 43rd in the Boardwalk here in Sea Isle City. Nick just sent us down a couple of pizza pies with some French fries and mozzarella sticks. Shelby's already eaten the mozzarella sticks, so she couldn't. She's already diving into those things. So, but we thank Nick as the best pizza in Sea Isle City. Zia Nicola Pizza, 43rd and the Boardwalk. Shout out to him for supporting all the events we do here on 97.3 ESPN. Nick and Zia Nicola Pizza have always supported me, broadcasting for Mike Seafood Run Walk for Autism, as well as Connor Barwin's Make the World Better Foundation event each summer. We'll check back in the text board in just a bit at 609-403-0973. Of course, I love how it wasn't windy most of the day, and now the wind is picking up now. Of course it is. Of course the wind is picking up now. Didn't pick up earlier when we were checking in with Billy Schwam in the locker room this morning from 10 a.m. to noon. But now that it's about 12:30, now the wind is kicking in a little bit. 609-403-0973 is the text board. A couple other Phillies notes I wanted to get to here on the show. And I'm going to ask Alex to help me out a little bit. So, Alex, if you can go over to WENJ page 2 on the buttons, because I'm having trouble seeing the screen because apparently the lighting where I'm at has changed. So if you go to the WENJ 1. So I want to get to some of the other news from the Phillies down at spring training, and that has to do with the fact that the situation when it comes to the addition of, I mentioned Justin Crawford earlier. So Justin Crawford is, for those who don't know, he is the son of Carl Crawford, the 4-time All-Star. He used to play for the Rays and other teams years ago. Well, Charlotte Barnes from The Athletic joined me yesterday here on 97.3 ESPN, and she talked about Crawford coming in here, and I want to play this because of the fact that Crawford is expected to be a center fielder, and even though some analysts are not sure if he's a better center fielder or a left fielder, the Phillies seem to be pretty intent. The outfield this year is going to be Crawford in center, Adolis Garcia in right, and then the platoon of Brandon Marsh, Otto Kemp in left. So Charlotte Barnes, who is down there in spring training with the Phillies right now, here's what she said yesterday to me here on 97.3 ESPN about the rookie, Justin Crawford.
Justin is definitely going to be a bit of a pest offensively. I mean, he knows how to work an at-bat. It's not necessarily going to be pretty. It's going to be a lot of balls on the ground, but he is so fast. He can outrun practically anything. So I think it's just going to be a different offensive game than we're accustomed to seeing in MLB now, especially, I mean, with the Phillies right now. It's been a long time since players who play like Justin have sort of dominated the game. Defensively, he doubled down on his work. I had a story recently. He worked with Eric Davis this offseason, was connected through his godfather, because Justin really wants to play center field. And ultimately, that's what the Phillies have decided where he's going to play.
So that's very interesting, because if the Phillies are already expecting him to play center field, it doesn't sound like that they were ever intent on upgrading the outfield beyond what they already have. Now, that could be a positive or a negative thing for the Phillies. The Phillies could be looking at it as a positive, as saying, hey, you know what? We got this very talented young man. We got to give him an opportunity to play. They said last year they didn't call him up because they didn't want him to be in a part-time role. They wanted him to be able to play every day. And I love the idea of him working with Eric Davis offseason. Eric Davis, a former National League MVP award winner, World Series champion with the Cincinnati Reds. Before the injuries caught up to Eric Davis was considered one of the best center fielders in all of baseball. And for a guy like Justin to be like, you know what? I know my dad's a former ball player, but that's not good enough. I need to go learn how to play center fielder for someone who actually did it at a high level. And that is a guy, for example, like Eric Davis. And the Phillies now, they have put all these young players, Miller, Crawford, and Painter, all surrounded by the veterans. So all their lockers are next to not each other, the rookies, but Crawford is sandwiched between guys like Schwarber and Harper. And Aiden Miller is sandwiched between the veterans. And Painter is sandwiched in between Wheeler and Nola in the locker room. So I like the fact that the Phillies are handling this the way they are. Now, there might be some growing pains. I'm not saying Crawford's going to be an all-star or rookie of the year, but the positive of them, he's working hard in the offseason. They're putting him around the veteran players. These are all positives. The bigger question to me is not Crawford. I think Crawford's going to be fine in center field. The bigger question is the Andrew Painter conversation. Alex, if you can play, this is Charlotte Barnes yesterday talking about the Andrew Painter. He is projected to be in the starting rotation this year, even though he struggled in the minors last year.
I covered a few of his starts last season. It was pretty up and down for him, I would say. Command is often the last thing to return after Tommy John. That's been the case with him. It's just a little iffy last season, but everyone's pretty optimistic right now. I mean, they've pretty much all but said that he is going to be the fifth starter in the rotation. I mean, they've said he has to earn it. But as long as he performs right now, he is going to be that fifth starter. Obviously, we are so early into spring. It's going to be a while before he gets some game action. But I do think as long as he shows a bit of improvement, the command shows that it's coming along, the Phillies feel pretty good, and everyone's optimistic that he is going to get back toward where he was. The stuff is there. The fastball just needs to return to where it was.
And what's interesting, she talks about him getting back to where he was. My mind, when she said that to me yesterday on 97.3 ESPN, Josh Hennig hanging out with you live at the Mike Seafood Run Walk for Autism, with other people are starting to descend from the promenade back to the heated tent here at Excursion Park in Sea Isle City. It immediately reminded me of what Jose Luzardo, the Phillies pitcher, was on MLB Network. He apparently works out with Andrew Painter this offseason. Take a listen to what Luzardo had to say about Painter. I thought this was actually very enlightening because if the Phillies, as Charlotte Barnes is saying, they're hoping and expecting him to get back to where he was, Luzardo makes it sound like Painter will be the pitcher we think he's going to be.
I mean, I see him every day at the gym. We work out together. He looks great. I mean, he's, 22 years old. He's 6'8", and I mean, he's incredible. So he's a unicorn, and I just love watching him work. I watch him throw his bullpens. The way he goes about his business in the gym. I think he's mature beyond his years, which is great to see. He's got his head on straight, which is no surprise to me. It's something I've seen from him since he was in high school.
And for a guy like Luzardo, who himself has had an up and down career, to speak so highly of another pitcher, kind of gives you an idea that this is a organization that has maybe something positive here in Andrew Painter. Now, listen, I have heard some analysts compare Painter, saying he could be to the Phillies what Paul Skeens was to the Pirates. I'm not ready to go there just because of the fact that that's a very, very, very lofty bar to approach, right? That is an unfair expectation of a guy like Painter. But we do know for a fact that historically, pitchers who have Tommy John surgery, it takes them 1 to 2 years to return back to form after having the surgery. Well, 2026 would be 2 years from the surgery. So we're basically on the timeline of saying that Painter should be able to do what we expected him to, which is come in here and be a starter for this team. We were promised for years. I remember it was 4 or 5 years ago. It was 3 guys we heard about all the time in the minors: Andrew Painter, Mick Abel, and Griff McGarry. Well, the only guy left is Painter. He's the only one left. They traded away Mick Abel to get Yohan Duran to be the closer. And they basically let Griff McGarry walk because he never met his expectations. So it's basically Painter or bust at this point. As I said earlier here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN, broadcasting live for the Mike Seafood Run Walk for Autism here at Excursion Park in Sea Isle City. When you think about the situation with Painter, if he's one of only 3 top-tier prospects for your organization, he has to pay off, right? Well, what's interesting is that Jose Luzardo himself has very high expectations for what his potential is. Listen to what Jose Luzardo had to say to MLB Network.
I'm looking forward to seeing him and sharing a clubhouse with him, hopefully at some point throughout this year. And yeah, I'm really looking forward. I mean, there's the ceiling for him would obviously, for me, was a Cy Young. Why sell yourself short? Cy Young Rookie of the Year. He's got that type of talent, and I think a lot of people might have wrote him off after the last year. He had his struggles, but who doesn't, especially at such a young age, coming off Tommy John? That's something that people, you can't find in the stat book, but these things happen. And like I said, he's 22 years old. He's 6'8", and I mean, he's a stallion.
Listen, again, when you're having a major league pitcher like Luzardo speaking as highly of Painter as he is, it kind of gives you an idea that this is not some random guy that we've heard about. This is not some Fugazi situation with a prospect. This is a legitimate stud. This is a guy that other players speak highly of. So it's not just me. It's not just the people at The Athletic covering the Phillies. It's not just MLB.com pipeline. It's not just Keith Law, who's covered baseball for 20 years. It's other pitchers who are saying Andrew Painter is a stud, that he is the future. And I think that if Painter can live up to even half the expectations we have of him, and if Crawford can live up to at least some of what we know he can be, the Phillies are going to be in a much, much, much better situation in 2026 than they were last year. Let's be realistic. Last year was depressing at times. It was depressing to watch some of these guys attempt to play well and completely let us down as Phillies fans. On the text board at 609-403-0973, Jeff from Ocean City chimes in. He says, what do you think Crawford hits in the lineup? What are your projections for his numbers? Hey, listen, my working assumption, now I am not Rob Thompson, okay? I do not set the lineup every day. If I did, I probably wouldn't be talking on the radio because I would have a much better paying job. Maybe I would be on the radio, actually. But I love what I do. But seriously, where would Crawford hit? My working assumption is the batting lineup this year. Again, working assumption. I don't know this for a fact, but I'm going to go off of the idea that I think Turner is still going to be the leadoff hitter. I think Schwarber is going to be probably either Schwarber or Harper are going to be 2 and 3. You can invert both of them. Garcia is probably going to be the 4 hitter. Then you're probably going to have either Bohm or Real Muto at 5 and 6. Then it gets interesting because it's like, do you put Brandon Marsh at 6 or 7? Where does Stott hit in the lineup? Crawford, these are all left-handed hitters. My working assumption is Crawford's going to be the 9 hitter. I think they want him and his ability to get on base ahead of Trey Turner when they turn the lineup over each day. That would be my working assumption. And I think that kind of fits in with the profile of hitter that he is. For those who don't know, Crawford is not a power hitter. He's a slapstick hitter. He's a guy that gets on base, steals bases. He was top 3 in all AAA last year in stolen bases, hits, on base percentage, the 9 yards. So you're talking about a guy in Crawford who we know for a fact that he is going to be able to cause some havoc on the bases, get some base hits. So you probably want to put him somewhere in the lineup where he's going to be able to be impactful in that role. Now, I don't know if that means that they want to eventually have him be a leadoff hitter. I think it's a little bit of a stretch right now for a rookie, but I think the Phillies do want to make sure that Turner, Harper, and Schwarber continue to be the top of the lineup for the Phillies. Now, in terms of the projected numbers, my working assumption is Crawford is not going to hit a lot of home runs. Didn't hit a lot of home runs in the minor leagues. He's not going to do it in the major leagues either. So my working assumption is that he is going to probably be a guy who is probably going to hit maybe around, I'm just looking at a number here, maybe 285 batting average, 336 on base, probably going to get you maybe like 30 to 40 stolen bases. That'd be my working assumption for what he's going to be numbers-wise. But I think he's probably going to be a guy who's going to be a little bit lower in the lineup, and that's okay. It's okay to look at him and say he's a guy who's lower in the lineup. He is someone who is not going to, go out there and basically be your A-plus hitter. He's not going to be one of your top-of-the-line hitters. You don't need him to. You need him to be a part of this team. You need him to help you with the defense. Defense for the Phillies outfield is way better this year than it was in years past. Josh Hennig hanging out with you here at Mike Seafood, One Walk for Autism, 973 ESPN FM, 973 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank in Seattle City, streaming live on YouTube and X at Josh Hennig in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio. Still to come, we got more Eagles NFL talk to get to a little bit later in the show. Andy McNamara for Sporting News joining us coming up at 1 o'clock. Also, we will hear from undefeated New Jersey boxer John Leonardo coming up at 1:30 ahead of his fight at Tropicana Stadium in Atlantic City on March 7th. Also, on top of all that, we will hear from NBA insider Brandon Scoopy Robinson coming up at 2:25 about what might be a disastrous situation for the 76ers as we go into the. By the way, did you notice the All-Star break? It doesn't feel like the All-Star break. I feel like no one cared about the All-Star break anymore for the NBA. But we'll get into all that and more coming up here. Hanging with Hennig, 97.3 ESPN, live from Mike's Seafood, Run Walk for Autism in Sea Isle City. Tired of cooking and planning all of your meals each and every day? You need Prevail Nutrition to simplify your life. For almost a decade, Prevail Nutrition is a local meal prep company located in South Jersey that allows customers to design their own meal plan. Or you can choose from a wide variety of chef-designed meals on their weekly changing Prevail Selects menu. You can order online for pickup or get free delivery on orders of over $50. Prevail Nutrition delivers to Atlantic and Cumberland counties along with Ocean City. Or you can pick up your meals every Monday and Friday. Learn more about how Prevail Nutrition can simplify your life. Visit their website at prevailnutrition.club. Check out Prevail Nutrition on Facebook and Instagram. Prevail Nutrition is my go-to choice for prepared meals and food. Order online, like me, at prevailnutrition.club.
For 23 years, we've helped athletes at all levels at Clemic Performance Method, from youth to pros, increase maximum velocity, acceleration, vertical leaps, and general physical preparedness. We offer youth, high school, and pro college classes. Our proven results have earned national recognition from NFL coaches, sponsors, and a feature on ESPN Radio's Sports Science segment. You can contact me directly at 609-742-6190, or as always, visit us on our website, clemicperformancemethod.com.
My brother, who's older, is a tough guy. He always gets me something, and I have to appreciate it. Hey, man, I got you this. It's a knife. It's a buck knife, like 11-inch Bowie knife. I know you like knives. I go, I do? He goes, well, at dinner, you're always like, can I have a knife?
David Spade, I Got a Feel For It tour. Saturday, March 7th, Ovation Hall and Ocean Casino Resort. Tickets are on sale now at theoceanac.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-923-6829 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-923-6829. That's 800-923-6829. What do you have to lose? Call 800-923-6829. Again, 800-923-6829.
Big news! South Jersey Energy Service Plus is now called HomeServe. They've proudly been part of the HomeServe family since 2017. And as they change their name, rest assured, you'll continue receiving their top-notch service you love. The same professional, local technicians you know will keep delivering world-class heating, cooling, and water heater services throughout southern New Jersey. Visit HomeServeSJ.com.
Service provided by Frank Siderio Jr., Master HVAC Contractor, license number 19HC00211500.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Matt Blatt Kia's President's Day prices are so low, it's likely to cause a stampede. 26 Kia Sportage, $129 per month. 25 Kia Telluride, $159 per month. Or finance with 0 down and 0 payments for 90 days.
Matt Blatt Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township.
It's got to be a Matt Blatt Kia.
24 month leases, $56.99 due at signing, plus licensing, registration, and taxes. No security deposit on approved credit through KMF. Expires month end.
For over 135 years, First Bank of Sea Isle City has proudly served Cape May County with a commitment to maintaining a hometown feel. We provide secure, convenient deposit and loan products every day. We're more than just a bank. We're a trusted community partner, offering personalized banking solutions that make life easier for local families of all ages. First Bank of Sea Isle City. Look for our lighthouse in your neighborhood and discover what makes us different.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You're hanging with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
Hey, you know what? There's another name you might know me by. Star-Lord.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
Who? Star-Lord, man. Legendary outlaw.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Josh Hennig back here on 97.3 ESPN. Hanging with Hennig, being brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook, the only sportsbook app with Caesars rewards. Bet like a Caesar and earn perks on every game. The hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code radio250BM and get your first bet matched as a bonus bet up to $250 whether you win or lose. Open to new users in New Jersey who are 21 or older, minimum odds minus 500 awarded as a non-withdrawable bonus bet that expires 14 days after receipt. Bonus bet amount not returned for winning bets void where prohibited. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Josh Hennig hanging out with you at Mike's Seafood, One Walk for Autism in Sea Isle City. Alex Barrett is back in the 97.3 ESPN studio. Did you shave? Or did you get a haircut? What's going on over there?
I shaved, and I think the hair is actually kind of doing its thing today for once.
Okay.
So, yeah, I appreciate that, though.
Well, I haven't seen you in 2 weeks, so it's a little bit of a drastic change for me. I'm literally seeing you for the first time on YouTube and X right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, I haven't been here in a while, but I'm happy to be back. And, yeah, I feel like I came back at a right time. The whole Castellanos news and everything like that. Spring training's coming up soon, pitchers and catchers. It's a great time.
Well, let me get your take on the Castellanos thing, because apparently Shelby is telling me that there was an individual who came up to us complaining about how we treated Nick Castellanos, to which Shelby agrees with me. I didn't do anything to Castellanos personally. But what is your take on this whole situation about them taking as long as they did to move on from him? His 4 pages of written letter on Instagram he posted, and now he's with the Padres. What is your take, Alex?
I mean, say what you want, but you don't go grabbing a beer bottle in the dugout just because you're a little upset that you're not as good as you once were, not even close to, and you're trying to make a statement to the manager. Dude, give me a break. And for the whole not, waiting so long, I think it might be the fact that I'll try and give Dombrowski a little benefit of the doubt here, even though I haven't all offseason. Maybe he was trying to bring in somebody, and if he was able to bring in somebody, he would have maybe looked to add a prospect to trade with Castellanos. But I think once they got to the realization that all of their guys are out, that they can't really bring in anybody, like a Bo Bichette, a Pete Alonso, if they wanted to do that, then who cares about eating the money at that point? Because it's not going anywhere. He's pretty complacent now on just not paying anybody. So if you're not going to go out and pay somebody, that $20 million doesn't really mean much to Dombrowski.
Well, it might not mean much to him, but I will say this, Alex, and maybe I'm reading into it a little bit wrong, but to me, I look at it as they seem very intent on the young players they already have, right? The Crawfords, the Millers, the Painters, to be part of their future. They don't seem very interested in paying anyone else to come in here. It's like, well, we already paid Castellanos $100 million, right? So we don't want to bring in a Pete Alonso or anybody else. I think that's part of it why Garcia's here, right? Garcia's here to play right field, and he's a better locker room guy, a better defensive player, and a higher ceiling than Nick Castellanos.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the interesting guy in there is Aiden Miller, though, because from everything that I've heard from guys that we've had on your show, talk to, kind of sounds like he's just here for spring training, and then they're going to let him just develop more in AAA. So if you're looking for the future, realistically, there's not going to be a season next year.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, this year is this window is closing quickly with the guys that you have and on these long-term contracts. You got to do it now more than the future. Now, I'm not saying, don't play these guys, but try to use a bit of both. Don't play a guy like Alec Boehm. Go get a guy like Ketel Marte in Arizona or something like that.
Well, I will say Boehm is only under contract for 1 more year. And it's very interesting. The reports are the Phillies are going to work out Miller this year at shortstop and third. The biggest comp that I have heard for Aiden Miller's potential is Alec Bregman. Alec Bregman, when he was drafted by the Astros, was a shortstop who they turned into a third baseman. If you get Alex Bregman and have Aiden Miller, bye Alec Boehm. I don't need you in my life anymore.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, Alex, I gave you a little bit of assignment. I don't know if you did anything with it or not, but do you have any Olympic hockey updates for me?
Kevin Fiala for the Los Angeles Kings went down, believe for Team Slovakia, I believe he plays for, but he is out for the year. He got carted off in the game against Team Canada and is going to miss the rest of the year. That's the concern or kind of trade-off that you get with some of these guys. They get that country crest on their chest, right, and they just play 110%. But you know, that's the possibility that could happen. You could be costing your team. Not that the Los Angeles Kings were probably going to do much this year, but a leg. It sounds like it's a knee injury. They haven't really confirmed on what it is, but they have confirmed it's going to be season-ending. So if you're a top team and you got one of your guys out there like Connor McDavid goes down, Edmonton, that is a problem.
Right.
It's a trade-off, but I think a lot of these guys, they would say they're willing to risk that to go represent their country and possibly win a gold medal.
I just think that's a huge difference between playing in the Olympics and getting injured and then, you know, playing like, you know, a random street hockey game and getting injured. You know, I'm like, I understand that these teams are like, we don't want to get unnecessary risks outside the season, but if you get injured, especially Olympic hockey, there's not even that much physicality as there is in regular NHL. You know,
there's no
right.
fighting. They're trying to limit the amount of hits in it.
Right. So it's like, I'm not worried. Like if a guy happens to get injured, it feels like it's like a 1 in a million situation, right?
Yeah, but you know, the Olympic Committee is really trying to enforce the whole neck guard situation, which I'm here for. Like, I don't care. Like if you, don't get cut across the neck. Yeah, it's cool.
Right.
But some of the guys haven't really listened to that because they just don't find it comfortable. But a lot of guys like Austin Matthews was one of the bigger guys who during the regular season does not wear it. He's been seen wearing it throughout games here at the Olympics for Team USA.
All right, we'll talk some more Olympic hockey a little bit later in the show. Alex Barrard is back in the 97.3 ESPN studios. Coming up on the other side, we're going to be talking with Andy McNamara about the NFL. And what's interesting about the NFL right now is the fact that the Eagles made a very, very interesting hire for their new defensive backs coach. I don't know who saw this, but the name is Pellegrino. Now, you might be like, why is Nick Sirianni hiring another Italiano for his coaching staff? Well, there's a reason why. Pellegrino is actually and Alex might be excited about this, he's a former lacrosse star at Johns Hopkins. He was an All-American. He was brought in by Bill Belichick a decade ago to the Patriots staff to become a defensive coach in the NFL.
Belichick loves his lacrosse guys. Chris Hogan, Super Bowl winner, Penn State lacrosse guy.
So you could argue that the Eagles, they're not just upgrading the offensive coaching staff with new people, but they're getting Belichick defensive guys. I actually like this addition, even though he doesn't have a lot of experience. We'll get more into the offseason NFL coaching with Andy McNamara from the Sporting News coming up next. Josh Hennig hanging out with you on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN, live from the Mike Seafood Run Walk for Autism at Excursion Park in Sea Isle City.
Hey, South Jersey, this is Billy Schwein. Tune into The Locker Room every Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to noon on 97.3 ESPN. Each weekend in The Locker Room, you will get passionate sports talk from a fan's perspective, along with interviews with some of the biggest names in sports. That's every Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to noon in The Locker Room with me, Billy Schwein, on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, because nothing could be finer than talking sports with the Schweiner.
Comedian Joey Diaz.
Because you don't need 20 friends. You just need 3 motherfuckers and you can take over a country.
62 and still slinging.
Okay, that's what we're confused as Americans. We think we need all these motherfuckers. You give me 3 bad motherfuckers and you're finished. You understand me? Because we got each other.
Friday, August 7th, Ovation Hall and Ocean Casino Resort. Get tickets now at theoceanac.com. Joey Diaz, 62 and still slinging.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side, your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. And now, during our President's Day sale, take 50% off our limited edition bed, plus free premium delivery with any bed and base. Ends Monday. Only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com.
Matt Black Kia's President's Day prices are so low, it's likely to cause a stampede. 26 Kia Sportage, $129 per month. 25 Kia Telluride, $159 per month. Or finance with 0 down and 0 payments for 90 days.
Matt Black Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township.
It's got to be a Matt Black Kia.
24-month leases, $56.99 due at signing, plus licensing, registration, and taxes. No security deposit. On approved credit through KMF. Expires month end.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Caesars Sportsbook, the only sportsbook app with Caesars rewards. Bet like a Caesar and earn perks on every game, like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code Radio250BM and get your first bet matched as a bonus bet up to $250, whether you win or lose. Open to new users in New Jersey who are 21 or older. Minimum odds minus 500. Awarded as a non-withdrawable bonus bet that expires 14 days after receipt. Bonus bet amount not returned for winning bets. Void where prohibited. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Home of the Philadelphia Eagles.
They got him again!
Sixers.
Bang! It's good! Ball game!
And Flyers.
Tipped in front of the net!
97.3 ESPN. WENJ. WENJ HD. Millville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey.
Finally! This is Hanging with Hennig.
I have friends everywhere.
On 97.3 ESPN Radio, South Jersey.
In New Jersey. Am I right? Yeah.
Live feed on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
It seems to run on some form of electricity. Well, you're not wrong.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together.
Now, here's your host.
He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Josh Hennig.
Josh Hennig broadcasting live from Mike's Seafood Run Walk for Autism in Sea Isle City. People are just coming and going from the heated tent to my right. Shelby's over here dancing in the sun because that's the only warm place there is around here. I will admit, it is a much nicer day than it was last year, and they had a record attendance last year. We're getting more into the NFL now because these coaching staffs are finally establishing, well, most of them are establishing their staffs. NFL full off-season mode with our guy Andy McNamara joining us right now here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Andy, as always, joins us thanks to Prevail Nutrition. You can order online for pickup or free delivery on orders of $50 or more to Atlantic and Cumberland counties along with Ocean City. Go to prevailnutrition.club to be like me and order food because, Andy, I don't know about you, but guys like us, we work so much, we forget to eat.
That's true. Or eat well. Right? That's
eat well, right. Too. That's the other thing.
Eat and eat well. So it's that combination that's so important. So I wish I could get that up here, brother. I'm glad you're taking care of yourself. And you look, I'm also glad it's not too cold. You look chilly. I'm inside, so I'm doing okay.
Well, my biggest problem, and it's not even a real problem, it's more like a first world problem, is in order for me to hit certain buttons, I have to take the gloves off.
Oh.
So it's like, as soon as my hand gets warm, I have to take the gloves off to then do something and then put them right back on.
You know what you need? The Homer Simpson, that bird. Remember the old Simpson where it had like the dip, where it has that one, that big one, it has like the water and it goes boop.
Yeah, exactly.
Press the yes button. That's what you need.
Yeah. So, Andy, let's get into it because obviously these coaching staffs are finally coming together, right? So, first of all, I got to know from you, you know, you look at the fact that the Philadelphia Eagles have hired so many young coaches, right? Sean Mannion to be the OC. They hired this guy Pellegrino to be the new defensive backs coach, a former Belichick disciple, right? You know, you have all these different guys, a lot of young guys, a lot of guys in their 30s that they're bringing in here. What is your take on what typically my youth when it comes to a roster, not a coaching staff.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And it's one of the problems of being a really good team, right? When you're a really good team, other franchises want your coaches to become their head coaches or upgrade from a quarterback coach to an OC or whatever that might look like. So you're always kind of backfilling. And we know you can see it in Detroit straight away from this year. The cost sometimes, if you don't backfill properly, Detroit losing both coordinators in a year took a significant step back, right? With Ben Johnson going to the Bears, et cetera. So for the Eagles, I kind of see it as they're looking, they have their established culture. You got your head coach, you got Roseman at the top, and you're looking for the next star before they're a star, right? You want to get a couple years out of them before they get poached, and you got to see, you got to be right. And with youth comes mistakes, right? So like with Mannion, for example, like what are you going to be getting? We don't know. But clearly, very bright guy, has the intangibles, and you're going to get him on the cheap before anybody else discovers it. And hopefully that translates to another deep playoff run or championship before he ends up going somewhere else. So I think that's sort of the cost of being really good. If you notice with my Browns, not too many guys get poached.
Right, exactly. Although, which is ironic because they literally hired a former Eagles executive to be their executive, and that isn't as gone as you hoped.
No, I think we got the wrong Barry. His twin brother's still with you guys, right? Adam Barry?
Yes, Adam is still in the organization. Yes, I can confirm that.
Which is funny because my name's Andy or Andrew. My brother's name is Adam. We're not twins though, but and also not as wealthy as the two Barry brothers. But I think we might have got the wrong Barry.
Yeah,
I don't know what we're going with this, but yeah, the Browns always try to sort of copy the Eagles, but then somehow always get it wrong, which is wild.
Yeah. So you mentioned about Mannion. I wanted to play with you. So this is from a couple of years ago when he was introduced as a quarterback coach for the Packers. Okay. He talked about his philosophy when it comes to becoming a coach at such a young age. Now, the Eagles have not introduced him officially at a press conference yet, but we were able to dig this up thanks to Jeff Skversky and Jeff Mosher. They found this audio from Sean Mannion. This is from 2 years ago when he was introduced as the Packers OC.
Blessed throughout my playing career, to get to play for a long time. I think that's an asset that I have in my arsenal to really supplement the quarterback room. And then, I was really lucky throughout my playing career to cross paths with a number of great coaches. And for me, as a player, I always knew that this would be the next step. So I was really attacking my playing career with this kind of in the back of my mind of soaking up as much knowledge as I could to weaponize it for now this new role that I'm in here.
That sounds like a guy who's not going to come in here and be as bad as Kevin Patullo.
Well, you'd hope not. And I just I was looking up while I was listening to it. He's like, I was blessed to play for a long time. In years, perhaps, career stats for Mannion: 14 games appeared in, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Yeah, you learn from what you'd think is good organizations, and sometimes these backups become really good coaches, right? Look at Philadelphia's past. Doug Peterson, like backup for a long time. You learn a lot. You become sort of a de facto coach. So for Mannion, who played with the Rams and then the Vikings and I think finished on Seattle or something, but this is somebody who he sounded confident back then. He's only learned more since. And what I like too, Josh, is he's been with different organizations. What concerns me a bit is, like, let's say during this head coaching hiring cycle with Nate Scheelhaus, who jumped out of nowhere for the Rams. He'd only been with the Rams, right? Like he was in college and then he went, his only NFL was that. Other guys you see who are only with one organization, you only learn, and then your Rolodex of contacts is limited. But you look at Mannion, who from a player has those connections, coaches, et cetera. And then with a different stop in Green Bay, you have somebody who's able to draw from different experiences, different coaches at different levels. And I think even though he is young, you're getting all of that combined with what he learned as a player. So the more I think about it, I really do like this hire for Philly. And I think it's a chance where he will be able to do a good job. Now, he's going to have to deliver and he's probably going to make some mistakes, but I think the upside is what Roseman's looking at from that whole combination of experiences.
And I mentioned this before, every time the Eagles have won a championship in the 21st century, they've had a former coach who coaches the former quarterback, right? Doug Peterson, Frank Reich, Kellen Moore.
Yeah.
There's 2 Super Bowls. Always a former quarterback as a coach. So
there you go.
Now, listen, I didn't come up with the idea myself. That was Nick Foles who brought it up on his season podcast. But still, it's a great point by Nick Foles that, for whatever reason, the Eagles say this works. We're going to keep sticking with it.
Why not? Right? Yeah, and just see. And again, Mannion might not be good. We don't know. But from everything that's lined up to how he speaks to the different places he's been, again, I really value the different stopping points for coaches to draw from than a guy who's just like, look at Kevin Stefanski before he came to the Browns, had only been with the Vikings. And that was hot and cold, 2 coach of the years, etc. But you sometimes saw that when his offense went stale, he didn't have other experiences to really draw from. And I think Mannion is going to have those other experiences to draw from and adapt.
Andy McNamara from the Sporting News joining us here on Hanging with Hennig live from Mike Seafood Run Walk for Autism on 97.3 ESPN. I want to ask you about another coaching that was interesting because it has a connection to the Eagles, not just because they're division rivals, but because the New York Giants does something very interesting, Andy. For the first time since Tom Coughlin, they actually hired an experienced coach, right? They hired John Harbaugh.
Right.
Previous times, they've hired all coordinators, or Joe Judge was a special teams coordinator and a tight ends coach. Like, he had no head coaching experience at the time. Now, though, they didn't just hire John Harbaugh, who himself is a former Eagles coach from about 20-some years ago, and Andy Reid staff.
Right.
Matt Nagy was a former Eagles coach. Denard Wilson is a former Eagles coach. The Giants have literally basically said, you know what? We're just going to hire a bunch of guys who we know have had experience, for sure, who have had experience as coaches.
And there's always different ways to go about it, right? So we just talked about Mannion, who has experiences but is young. And then certainly you can go the other way, right? You can go for guys who you know what you're going to get. Now, the downside potentially of that is you get people who have it's my system or no, or I've done it. And so maybe you're a little more closed-minded. Maybe you're not. But you have people who are known commodities and opposing coordinators who have had years dealing with and figuring out those systems, right? So that's a kind of a downside to that. But it's a case where if you're the Giants, man, you got Harbaugh. He's there to win now, and he's bringing in his guys. And from the Browns angle, he wanted a bunch of the offensive coaches. Todd Monken, who got hired in Cleveland, took all of them. So Harbaugh got his defensive guy and then had to go outside because he wanted all his old Ravens guys. So it's that sort of combo. And that's where this time of year and after it's that arms race, right? You see a whole bunch of other assistant coaches getting hired and moving around and all that type of thing. So now it's a race. And then in a couple of weeks, we'll have the combine and off we go.
The other thing that's interesting is that, and I know this is sacrilege to some Eagle fans out there, but I think the NFC East is better when the Giants are actually good. I think that having that Giants-Eagles rivalry is actually a positive thing. I don't listen.
It's more fun.
I'm tired of just kicking it. I'm tired of just kicking people to the curb, right? If I had to pick a team that was going to be competitive with the Eagles, no Eagle fan wants the Cowboys to be good. But if the Giants are competitive, at least it makes it more interesting because now you got 90 minutes away rivalry going on here.
Well, that's true. I would have to say this. You spoiled Eagles fans. You know how bad I would love to be able to stomp anybody to the curb as a Browns fan? Oh, my God, please give me a decade of destroying Pittsburgh or Baltimore. I promise I will not get tired of it. But I see what you're saying. From an outsider, too, it's just fun having a competitive division, and it's not, the Eagles running away with it, and in second place is looking at 9-8.
Listen, you mentioned about being a Browns fan. My guy Emery Hunt was on CBS Sports HQ earlier this week. He thinks the Browns are going to be the surprise team of the AFC next year.
Please. Please. I hope he's right. I really do. I have zero confidence in the general manager, Andrew Berry. I am growing day by day, much more confident in the Todd Monken hire. I think this guy's a leader of men. The thing is, the Browns have the ammo in draft capital with 10 picks, and they have to tap dance around for the salary cap because of the Deshaun Watson situation. You have the ammo to fix if you fix the offensive line, which is going to need 4 new starters. So that's right there. Wow. If you can get a Carnell Tate or a stud receiver in the draft and then get somebody else too, You can fix this off. This defense is ready to go. You got a new special teams coordinator. You can do it. We see teams every year, Josh. 0 to 1. Look at the Patriots. Now, you don't got Drake May, but you got Shedeur Sanders. This year is there for the taking for Shedeur Sanders to prevent Cleveland from drafting another quarterback. Shedeur Sanders, that story is going to be something we follow the whole way because, Josh, I think he's going to get his shot. I think he's going to win the starting job over Deshaun Watson, and then we'll see. We will see because he has a real chance. And what a story. The forgotten guy, the guy who fell in the draft because he was cocky, a 5th-round draft pick to step up and lead this team would be sensational. So they have the tools to do it. I'm just not confident in the men in charge to do it.
Couple more NFL topics hit on with Andy McNamara from the Sporting News at AndyMC81 on the Twitter X platform, at AndyMC Sports on Instagram. Also check out the SIC podcast. Like, subscribe, and download wherever you get your podcasts as the SIC podcast. Andy McNamara. Andy, you're over there in the AFC North. You covered that a lot. Do you really think that Mike McCarthy is going to be able to do anything with Aaron Rodgers, or do you think he was really hired because of Will Howard?
Well, I love Will Howard, and I think that is the forgotten man. So in any mock draft you see of the Steelers taking Ty Simpson because they need a quarterback, you're forgetting about Will Howard. Now you got injured, kind of a redshirt year. If I'm the Steelers, it's a strange situation because you can't really just hand the keys over to Will Howard. He hasn't done anything and he was injured. But you also want to give it back to Aaron Rodgers? And then, okay, let's say partway through the year, he's you going to bench Aaron Rodgers? That doesn't sound like a fun locker room, right? Like, then you got attitude Rodgers going there. Now, McCarthy has known how to deal with him in the past. I think the Steelers remain kind of in limbo. Their offensive game plan should be updated, at least from Tomlin, who only focused on defense with McCarthy. But I kind of see the same type of deal that Pittsburgh's been in the whole year, depending what they do free agency and draft. That can all change, of course. But as it stands now, I'm kind of seeing a team that's just kind of hovering around 500 again. And maybe you get into the playoffs, maybe you don't, but you're not doing anything, right? Unless you give Will Howard the real shot and you have this guy. Josh, I'm telling you, I told you last year on your show, my show, Will Howard's a leader of men. His Ohio State teammates love him. I'm shocked that he dropped as far as he did. This guy's got all the tools. This guy's all the tools to be a star. The question is McCarthy the man to unlock it? And will he get a chance to prove that?
One of the hot topics this past week after the Super Bowl was which team is more likely to get back to the Super Bowl, right? A lot of the national shows are talking about is it the Seahawks or the Patriots. And frankly, I think that's an unfair question to ask because to me, it depends on what the Patriots do. If the Patriots actually fix their offensive line, then sure, they can go back.
Right.
If the Seahawks can re-sign Kenneth Walker, sure, they can go back. I feel like people are way too quick to want to project who's going to be a playoff team next year when we still have an entire offseason to go. Eagles got to figure out they're going to bring back Jacoby Dean, Dallas Goedert, Louis Blankenship. Christian Parker, the former Eagles defensive backs coach, he's now the DC with the Cowboys. Does he steal some guys in free agency that join him down in Dallas, right? There's so many variables going in the offseason. So, to me, I don't think it's fair to ask which team's going to be back. I think his better question is which team has a better chance to put themselves in a position to go back.
Right. And I think the answer, the way you phrase it, is both. Because, look, you have both these teams are going to be destination spots now, right? So you have to consider that if we take into free agency. So the calendar is like this. We have the combine coming up in 2 weeks, last sort of phase before the draft. Then it's free agency, then the draft. So there's still so many steps to go through. But if you look at teams' free agency where players can choose to a degree, it's like, all right, well, why wouldn't you want to go to New England? Why wouldn't you want to go to Seattle? They just got there. Like you said, you got a couple pieces away. Drake May is going to be a year older. Mike Vrabel is a heck of a coach. So the offensive line, you got to shift, you got to rebuild. Maybe not rebuild because it was terrible in his rookie year. It was better last year, this current year, and it needs to get better again because Seattle exposed it. So you have the pieces there. And then, like you said, can Sam Darnold keep doing it? Look, man, he's the only guy in USC history to win a Super Bowl. To start in a Super Bowl and win. He's the only guy from that 2018 quarterback draft class with Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, my guy Baker, and now at Wharton Business School, Josh Rosen, who's not even in the league, to win a Super Bowl. So, you know, you keep Sam Darnold and you keep that same strategy. Why not? Like, I think if we had to pick right now, Josh, like, okay, we don't know what's going to happen right now. You got to give it to Seattle because their game plan worked flawlessly. Teams knew what they were going to do, and they still were able to do it. If you're able to have teams know what you're going to do and do it, and they can't stop you, sign me up.
And before we let you go, obviously the other news this week was Trinidad Chambliss won his suit, and now he is going to be able to go back to Ole Miss. And I love the people who are like, how dare you pass up on going to the NFL? It's like, no, if you don't think you're ready, be like Bo Nix. Be like these other guys. Yes. Get another year of prep in the college ranks. I love the fact he's going back. The problem is, Andy, that quarterback draft class got a lot thinner without him because after Mendoza, who's probably the number one to the Raiders, and Ty Simpson, who will be overdrafted in the first round when he shouldn't be, this quarterback draft class feels a lot like that Kenny Pickett draft class a few years ago with him and Malik Willis and all those guys, where you're going to see guys get overdrafted, the bad teams that are desperate for quarterbacks, and they're going to completely fail these guys.
Absolutely. And we have to remember, too, the other side of it is these guys, like if you're Trinidad Chambliss, I don't know what his NIL type of deal is, but you know, I'm sure he can make some money out of Ole Miss's QB another year and develop. Now, he's listed at 6'1". I hear that is pretty generous. I'm hearing more 5'11"-ish. So yeah, his upside, he's a fun player to watch. His NFL upside to me is next to nothing. I don't think he's going to be a good NFL quarterback. So go back, enjoy. That's great. Garrett Nussmeier is a riser to watch. Remember, Josh, and that's why you can never, guys, listeners, you can never count. I was like, next year's quarterback. It was supposed to be Cade Klubnik and Garrett Nussmeier. That's why I was supposed to be talking about 1-2. No one ever heard of friggin' Fernando Mendoza. Now that guy's going number one the year before. Oh, Brock Bowers and Quinn Ewers. Yeah, that 1-2. They stunk. Quinn Ewers is festering in Miami, and not Brock Bowers. You know who I'm talking about. Brock, whatever. The Miami guy. What's his name? Brock, the quarterback.
For some reason, all I'm thinking of is Brock Osweiler right now, but that was a long time ago.
You know what I'm saying. But the Brock, whatever. And he was bad. And he's going to come out. He's going to be a 6th-round pick.
Oh, you mean Carson Beck?
Never know. Beck. That's it. Yeah. So Nussmeier's a riser too, I think, to watch, to probably, because he was all hype, went down, had a great Senior Bowl, probably bumped himself up. I bet you he goes in the 2nd round. But yeah, Josh, this is outside of Fernando Mendoza, I'm not interested in any of these guys. Ty Simpson is a Kenny Pickett 2.0. We'll have to wait to see how his hand size measure. Then we can really compare. But other than that, like Nussmeier, okay, fringe starter. Ty Simpson,
very
starter.
fringe.
And you have to look at it again. Do you have an elite trait? Ty Simpson does not. Mendoza has several. Nussmeier, not really, right? Apparently a quick processor. Last time I heard someone who has a quick processing mind, Josh, was Dylan Gabriel. How's that looking? Right?
Listen, the fact, really quick, the fact that Nussmeier did not have the success that he could have at LSU should be the ultimate sign that was a no bueno.
Oh, absolutely. And let me say this real quick. The Malik Willis hype has me fuming, Josh. Because people are like, oh, Malik Willis. I've written articles on the Sporting News why the Browns should avoid it like the plague because of lazy analysis of saying he should match with the Browns, which they can't afford him, by the way, because of the Deshaun Watson contract.
Right.
Shedeur Sanders has started more games than Malik Willis, and Malik Willis has been in the league for 4 years. Right. So the problem is with this. Malik Willis, people are like, oh, look how he played in Green Bay. Look at the result. Loser. 1 game started, loser. Came in, played the majority of the game before, loser. The guy is not a good caliber starting NFL quarterback. He's not. He can come in, run around a bit, chuck up the odd ball. Has he improved in Green Bay? Sure. But remember in Tennessee, Josh, he went in, they didn't even let him throw the ball. No. You're going to pay that guy $30 million or more? That is absolute insanity. That is a worse deal than the Matt Flynn deal. Remember that? Played 1 good game. At least he won. 1 good game, and he got a ton of money. Malik Willis, an abomination. Whoever signs him is the biggest sucker in the National Football League.
Yeah, well, the NFL is full of those people. I mean, we got people in Philadelphia who are having arguments about whether we should give Jalen Hurts a contract extension or not. That's the world we live in, man. It's what have you done for me lately, not who actually can play football anymore. But it's nobody's happy unless you're holding the trophy, which means 31 teams that their fan bases are always disappointed every single year. He's Andy McNamara at AndyMC81 on the Twitter X platform, at AndyMC Sports on Instagram, host of the SIC podcast. Andy, plug the pod. What do you got coming up?
You're gonna be fired up, buddy. I want to talk more Malik Willis with you.
There's always next week. There's always next week.
All right, you gotta be pumped up now. All right, I got tons of content on sporting news. We got draft talk, free agent talk, not just Browns, all sorts of things, fantasy football on the show. Subscribe on YouTube, The SIC Podcast with Andy McNamara, on X at SIC Pod Browns, at AndyMC81, Instagram and TikTok at AndyMC Sports. Gonna have a lot of fantasy football and tons of draft profiles getting ready for that draft. And I'm sure, Josh, we'll be talking and probably do a day one draft day show together. I'm not sure what that would be, but we'll do something.
We'll cross that bridge when we get to April.
Yeah, exactly. A long way to then, my friend.
It's still February. I'm trying to get through February right now. So
yeah, I'm with you.
Andy, my friend, take care.
Stay warm, buddy. Talk to you.
I'm doing my best. Andy McNamara joining us here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. And his appearance on Hanging with Hennig being brought to you by my friends over at Prevail Nutrition. Tired of cooking and planning out all of your meals each day? You need Prevail Nutrition to simplify your life. For almost a decade, Prevail Nutrition is a local meal prep company located in South Jersey with a wide variety of chef-designed meals at their weekly Prevail Selects menu. PrevailNutrition.club is where you go to get your meals delivered Mondays and Fridays to Atlantic and Cumberland counties plus Ocean City. Be like me. Simplify your life with Prevail Nutrition. Also, Hanging with Hennig being brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook, the only sportsbook app offering you Caesars rewards. Bet like a Caesar and earn perks on every game. Look at hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code Radio250BM and get your first bet matched as a bonus bet up to $250, whether you win or lose. Open new users in New Jersey who are 21 or older. Minimum odds minus 500. Awarded as a knowledge drawable bonus bet that expires 14 days after receipt. Bonus bet amount not returned for winning bets. Void where prohibited. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. And shout out to our newest sponsor of Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN, Hang Time Bar and Grill, located on the White Horse Pike in Galloway. Learn about them right now as we get you ready for the boxing event of the spring. March 7th, John Leonardo joins us from New Jersey next here on 97.3 ESPN.
Your go-to hangout spot for friends and family looking for a night out or to watch sports is located on the White Horse Pike in Galloway. Hangtime Bar and Grill features live music every Tuesday night, DJ bingo every Wednesday night, and plenty of TVs to watch your favorite team play all year round. Plus, don't miss out on Hanging with Hennig broadcasting live at Hangtime Bar in Galloway. First weekend of the biggest college basketball tournament of the year on Saturday, March 21st. Check out Hangtime Bar and Grill on Facebook and Instagram to learn more about their weekly specials and one of the best happy hours in South Jersey on the White Horse Pike in Galloway at Hangtime Bar and Grill.
Making your home look brand new is what Work of Art Construction can do for you. Ready to remodel your bathroom or have a kitchen makeover? Art Masker has 40 years of experience in construction and knows how to make your home look like a work of art. Want to install a new back deck or invest in a new front door? Just call Art Masker at 609-788-4271 to learn more. Visit Work of Art Construction on Instagram to see how Work of Art Construction can make your home look brand new. Beautify your home with Work of Art. Call him at 609-788-4271 and let them make your home truly a work of art.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-923-6829 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-923-6829. That's 800-923-6829. What do you have to lose? Call 800-923-6829. Again, 800-923-6829.
Go to get your game on at the Fanatic Sportsbook in the gallery at Ocean Casino Resort. Cheers your favorite drinks while cheering on your favorite team. Go for the sports scene and go for the endless screens. Go where fans become fanatics at the Fanatic Sportsbook in the gallery. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Go for the win. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Tired of the runaround? Then drive over to Bridgeton Auto Mall, your destination for savings. We've slashed prices on our massive selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. Whether you need an SUV for the family, a fuel-efficient sedan, or a truck for the job, we've got the perfect fit and the perfect deal. Our award-winning service department is here for all your needs. From oil changes and tire rotations to major repairs. Trust the pros at Bridgeton Auto Mall to keep your ride running like new. Bridgeton Auto Mall on Pearl Street in Bridgeton or on the web at drivebam.com.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
Caesars Sportsbook, the only sportsbook app with Caesars rewards. Bet like a Caesar and earn perks on every game, like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code radio250BM and get your first bet matched as a bonus bet up to $250, whether you win or lose. Open to new users in New Jersey who are 21 or older. Minimum odds minus 500. Awarded as a non-withdrawable bonus bet that expires 14 days after receipt. Bonus bet amount not returned for winning bets. Void where prohibited. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You're hanging with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
I want my picks back. I want David Putnam.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
All my picks back, and I want David Putnam just because I feel like it.
You're out of your mind.
Yeah, I am. Haven't I proved that already?
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Josh Hennig back here on 97.3 ESPN. Don't forget the first action-packed fight card of 2026 is going to be on Saturday, March 7th. Boxing Insider Promotions, their 7th time at Tropicana Showroom in Atlantic City. And we talked with Leah Lewandowski from Berlin, New Jersey, last Saturday here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. But it is a jam-packed fight card of New Jersey fighters. And joining us right now on the phone line to talk more about his next fight, John Body Shot Leonardo joining us right now on 97.3 ESPN. John, welcome in. How you doing today? I am going to assume that might be something that's out of my control. Alex back in the studio, let me know if you got John in the board or not, because I don't hear anything on my end here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. I'm being told that he is in. So we'll try this again. I don't know, maybe just make sure his mic is turned up on that side, because I should be able to hear him as we are streaming live on YouTube and X at Josh Hennig here on 97.3 ESPN. Let's try it again. Oh, never mind. He says he's calling. All right, so a little technical issue going on here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. But the Boxing Insider Promotions event coming up, it's a jam-packed fight card because you got undefeated Justin Figueroa from Atlantic City, one of the NABF belt holders, as well as undefeated women's boxer Leah Lewandowski. John Leonardo is one of the many fighters in the card, along with Josh Popper. Josh Popper is a rising star heavyweight boxer as well from Holy Spirit High School. So hopefully we can connect with John. Now, John, you got me over there. John, can you hear me? All right, I think I hear him, but Alex, I think you might need to make sure that he can hear me on that side. John, you got me? Because I hear you. It sounds like you're kind of sitting on your phone there. All right, I'm not fully sure what's going on. They were having phone calls working earlier on the locker room with Billy Schwein on 97.3 ESPN. We do hear the phone. We do hear John connected, but I don't know if John can hear me, which is the problem. I'm going to assume, I'm not fully sure what the issue would be. I would say, Alex, back in the studio, put John on hold and make sure he can actually hear me or not. Here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN, as we are trying to connect with John Leonardo, who will be fighting on March 7th at Tropicana Showroom in Atlantic City. It figures we've gone this far and we've had no technical issues, and then finally at 1:35 in the afternoon, that's when something technically goes wrong. It totally figures that it would happen like this. But hey, things do happen. This is live radio, so mistakes and issues do happen. I'm not fully sure why we could hear John, but he couldn't hear us. All right, let's try again. I'm being told we have John Leonardo, we got you. Hello. All right. It sounds like he's connected, and I heard him, but now he's not there anymore. I'm a little I don't even know what to say at this point. So maybe we'll let's do this. We're gonna go to a commercial break. We're gonna try to reset and try to see if we can figure out what's going on with the connection. We'll hopefully have John on the other side. Josh Hennig live from Mike Seafood Run Walk for Autism, 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank. See how streaming live on YouTube and X at Josh Hennig in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio.
Tired of cooking and planning all of your meals each and every day? You need Prevail Nutrition to simplify your life. For almost a decade, Prevail Nutrition is a local meal prep company located in South Jersey that allows customers to design their own meal plan. Or you can choose from a wide variety of chef-designed meals on their weekly changing Prevail Selects menu. You can order online for pickup or get free delivery on orders of over $50. Prevail Nutrition delivers to Atlantic and Cumberland counties along with Ocean City. Or you can pick up your meals every Monday and Friday. Learn more about how Prevail Nutrition can simplify your life. Visit their website at prevailnutrition.club. Check out Prevail Nutrition on Facebook and Instagram. Prevail Nutrition is my go-to choice for prepared meals and food. Order online, like me, at prevailnutrition.club.
For 23 years, we've helped athletes at all levels of Clinic Performance Method, from youth to pros, increase maximum velocity, acceleration, vertical leaps, and general physical preparedness. We offer youth, high school, and pro college classes. Our proven results have earned national recognition from NFL coaches, sponsors, and a feature on ESPN Radio's Sports Science segment. You can contact me directly at 609-742-6190, or as always, visit us on our website, clinicperformancemethod.com.
Automotive Avenues. Your family-owned, pre-owned dealership is growing and now has a second location in Sewell. Automotive Avenues brings the power of wholesale to the public. They make financing easy. Good credit, bad credit, no credit. You are still approved. Find out why Automotive Avenues has won customer satisfaction awards for the last 8 years. Discover why everybody loves Automotive Avenues of Sewell on Delsey Drive. Or check out their expanded inventory now at automotiveavenusnj.com.
That's another amazing run by Team USA.
Mom, think I'll be on Team USA one day?
Well, I'll take this one.
What? Are you speaking to us?
Yes, and to answer your question, anything's possible, especially with Xfinity.
So, I can be the best snowboarder ever?
Well, I can't guarantee that, but Xfinity can guarantee that your internet price won't change for 5 years.
Okay. What if I practice every day?
Then maybe you'll be snowboarding for Team USA at the next Olympic Winter Games. And Mom, you'll still be paying the same price for Wi-Fi.
Ooh, really stuck the landing there. It's the Xfinity Gold Medal Celebration. Now through February 22nd, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed, just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That's a $10.99 value per month. Xfinity. Imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Need a new car and have no idea. It's got to be a matte black Kia.
Our President's Day prices are so low, it's likely to cause a stampede. 26 Kia Sportage, $129 per month. 25 matte black Kia Telluride, $159 per month. Or finance with 0 down and 0 payments for 90 days. Trade in any vehicle in any condition, and matte black Kia will give you up to $3,000 over Kelley Blue Book fair market value toward the purchase of any matte black Kia in our giant inventory. All with 0 down, 0 payments for 90 days, or 0% up to 72 months. Have a job clearing $450 per week? Then we want to get you approved today.
Matt Black Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township.
It's got to be a matte black Kia.
24-month leases, $56.99 due at signing, plus licensing, registration, and taxes. No security deposit. $13.88 per thousand. Finance for 72 months at 0 APR with 0 down on approved credit through KMF. Expires month end.
You're hanging with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
People will come, Ray.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
People will most definitely come.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
All right, we worked through all the technical issues, and I believe we now got John Leonardo from New Jersey. He's going to be fighting on March 7th, Tropicana Showroom in Atlantic City. John, I appreciate you working around the technical issues. How's it going?
Hey, how's it going, Josh? How you doing?
Well, it's nice to actually hear you. I heard you say hello before. So for those who don't know, John Body Shot Leonardo is March 7th, Tropicana Showroom in Atlantic City, Boxing Insider Promotions. John, I want to start with this. You know, what does it mean to someone like you who's from New Jersey? You're about an hour away from where I'm standing right now in Sea Isle City to be fighting next month in Atlantic City. All right, so we can't blame anybody for that. I think his connection just froze because I can see him in there. He looks frozen. So, yep, it's buffering. I think we got him back now. John, you got me over there? John, can you hear me? You gotta love technology. You gotta love when technology works and doesn't work. I think we got John back now. He's I I see him in the StreamYard here on the Dr. Squatch virtual studio. Let me just check with Alex to make sure that he actually is.
Now I can hear you again. Everything's
You got
good.
me over there?
Yeah. I lost connection for a minute. Now I can hear you.
Gotcha. All right. So for you, obviously, Atlantic City, March 7th, Tropicana Showroom in Atlantic City. What does it mean to you as a guy from New Jersey to be fighting in Atlantic City next month?
It means everything. I love fighting in Atlantic City. I think, Atlantic City at one point was the boxing capital of the world. Everyone fought there. Mike Tyson fought there. Arturo Gatti fought there. All the big names fought there. So, to be a guy from Jersey going to Atlantic City to fight, it's a big thing.
You're someone that I think a lot of people might not know as much about. So for someone who comes to Tropicana Showroom in Atlantic City next month, maybe the first time they've ever been to a Boxing Insider Promotions event, what is something that people should know about you as a fighter when they see you enter the Tropicana Showroom Atlantic City boxing ring?
Well, what I'd like them to see and know about me is I come to fight. I like to go toe-to-toe, head-to-head with pretty much anyone I'm in there with. If you come to watch me fight, you're going to see a fight. There is no running. There is only forward motion.
So let me ask you a question because, I always love to hear stories about how people got their nicknames. Your nickname is Body Shot. So was that a nickname that a coach gave to you, or is that something that kind of came naturally over time? Tell us the story about your nickname.
So my father, who won the 1987 Daily News New York Golden Gloves, was the best body puncher they ever had, they said in the tournament. So growing up, he was like, we ain't going to worry about none of those headshots. You're going to hit the body. That's it. Body, body, body. So during COVID, I actually started coaching. While everything was shut down, I was coaching instead of fighting. And when I was teaching the kids, I taught them the same thing that my dad taught me, was hit the body. So they used to say, John Body Shot. That was it, John Body Shot. So it just became a thing. We locked that in.
So basically, you can blame your students for getting a cool nickname.
Yeah, pretty much.
I like that. John Body Shot Leonardo joining us here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN Tropicana Showroom in Atlantic City next month, Saturday, March 7th, where you can catch him along with all the other local fighters who will be in action. John, there's a lot of local fighters who are going to be on this card. Yourself, Justin Figueroa, Leah Lewandowski, Josh Poppers, originally from South Jersey. What is it like for you to be, not just the history of boxing, but have so many local fighters on the card with you?
Oh, yeah, it's great. I mean, I'm coming up with all these guys, and they're all talented. Me and Justin fought on the last show together that I was on, Boxing Insider, and I think we put on a great performance, the both of us. And as for the other fighters on the card, I know some of them. I've seen them fight, and, just to be out there and, we kind of share fans. My fans see them, their fans see me, and they look forward to that. And the next show, they're like, oh, I'm going to see so-and-so, but I'm also going to see John, it's cool. It's a really cool thing. You build a community.
Now, what is the current weight class you're going to be fighting at next month?
Super bantamweight, 122 pounds.
So now, is that a weight class that you're comfortable with right now, or do you think your future is going to potentially be maybe moving up or down in weight?
So I started off my professional career as a featherweight, 126 pounds, and I ended up going down to 122 pounds because I thought it was just too big. I had 12-1-1 with 6 knockouts. My first loss I was at featherweight, and that's what made me go down. I said, these guys are just, too big. It's just, that 4 pounds is a lot.
Now, you said they're too big. Is it something where maybe you feel like over time, as you get older, that maybe, over time you're going to put on more size, or do you feel like, I kind of want to stay exactly in the groove I'm at right now?
Yeah, honestly, I've been fighting at the same weight since I'm 14 years old. So as an amateur, I fought at 123 pounds, and now I'm fighting at 122 pounds 12 years later. So, maybe I'll grow and get bigger, or maybe I won't.
Well, 12 years is a long time. If you haven't grown that much in 12 years, at least muscle wise, right? You're probably not going to at this point.
Yeah, nah, I don't think there's much growth coming. So
Yeah. But still, I always like to ask people that because of the fact that, we've seen a lot of fighters over the years, John, and you've seen it yourself. You're a guy who follows the boxing game. You see guys, they start out at one weight and over time, their body just can't cut down anymore. But it sounds like for you that the weight cut down to that, low 120 range is something that's comfortable for you at this point.
Yeah, it's very easy for me to make weight. I also, I've been fighting since I'm very young. I actually wrestled as a little kid, so making weight was never an issue. And then like as the years go on, you get better and better at it. When it comes to diet and how you take the weight off, water loading, all this different stuff. So.
John Body Shot Leonardo joining us here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. A couple more before we let you go, John. What is, you mentioned that, the 12-year gap between when you started as an amateur to now. What has been the biggest thing that you have learned as a fighter that you're now a professional?
The biggest thing that I've learned, I'd say just gaining experience. I think it is like inside the ring, like when you get those rounds in. I think I see this more with like training kids now that I still do that, is the more rounds you have under your belt, the more it'll show, and I look back to when I was first sparring all the way till now, it's like, wow, it's a whole different person. So, if you stay in the gym and you stay active and you spar as many rounds as you can, and you get better and better. That's what makes you better. Sparring makes you better.
It sounds like to me that, coaching the young people has kind of really become something, very important to you. Is that something that maybe when your career is done, you want to keep doing, is being a boxing coach?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have a full-time job as well. So I work full-time, then I leave the gym, I coach, and then I train. So I got a crazy schedule. I do a lot of stuff during the day.
Hey, listen, that's what you got to do, right? You got to do what you got to do to, pay the bills and make sure you're still ready to be a fighter. John Leonardo joining us here on 97.3 ESPN. John, before we let you go, when you walk into the ring, March 7th, Tropicana Showroom in Atlantic City, and you win your next fight, what is going to be the one thing that people walk away when they see you win Saturday, March 7th?
I guess they'll say, wow, that kid could fight. He wasn't just talking.
Talk is cheap, right, John?
Talk is cheap. You got to show it.
Absolutely. Well, John, I appreciate you working us through the technical issues. Obviously, something happened with the phone, but we appreciate you jumping on the stream today, man.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And don't forget, Tropicana Showroom Atlantic City. That would be Saturday, March 7th. Is when John is going to be in action, along with all the other great fighters, along with Justin Figueroa, Leah Lewandowski, Josh Popper. All the rising New Jersey fighters are going to be in action, along with John Body Shot Leonardo. Saturday, March 7th, Boxing Insider Promotions' 7th event inside Tropicana Showroom in Atlantic City. They have had great turnouts every single fight night. You do not want to miss the first action-packed fight card of 2026, Saturday, March 7th. And again, as we talked about with Leah Lewandowski last week, support your local fighters. Reach out to John Leonardo, reach out to Leah Lewandowski, Justin Figueroa, reach out to them to get your tickets for the fight cards. Because when you reach out to the fighters, you are supporting them as well as not just the fight on Saturday, March 7th. All right, we worked through those technical things. Josh Hennig hanging out with you at Mike's Seafood Run Walk for Autism here in Sea Isle City. Here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Shout out to my guy, Nick over at Zia Nicola Pizza. I know the pizza is still sitting here. I haven't eaten any of it. I know Shelby's looking like I'm nuts over here, but, she's mad at me because I haven't opened up the pizza box yet. But, hey, you've been eating mozzarella sticks this whole time. So it's not like you're totally hungry. I brought you coffee, too, I mean, come on. What's guy got to do around here? No, seriously. Shelby's doing a great job helping me out here at the Mike Seafood Run Walk for Autism. Amazing turnout we had today. All the people who were running and walking on the boardwalk. People were exiting out of the heated tents right now as the day is winding down. Still to come on the show, we will hear from Mike Monachetti. They're talking about today's event for Mike Seafood, One Walk for Autism, plus NBA insider Brandon Scoopy Robinson, which is coming up in the next hour to talk about the state of the Sixers in the NBA at the All-Star break. I know I didn't text you, Alex, but by the way, Alex is doing a good job back in the studio trying to make sure everything works. It was definitely not his fault. I'm Alex, you want to put your camera on really quick and jump on the mic. I'm going to the position that John's phone is the same phone that we had with what's his name, Chris Franklin last month, where some of these phones just seem not to like us. That's my take.
Yeah, I'm not going to go out here and blame a guy who could probably knock me out in one punch. But, yeah, I was trying to do as much as I could there. There's just sometimes, like you said, love technology.
Yeah, you got to love technology. And by the way, he said it's my fault I muted myself on my phone when he jumped on the stream. So it's like, you know.
We heard him. It was just stuff happens. We'll just put it that.
Stuff does happen. That is true. All right. Now, Alex, for you, we were talking about the Eagles stuff early in the show. How does Alex Berard is back in the 97.3 ESPN studios feel about the Eagles youth movement at the coaching position?
Feels like somewhat of a changing of the guard a little bit. And I think I'm here for it because, honestly, it can't be worse than what it was last year. I think Sean Mannion, I haven't heard this much praise for Kevin Patullo when he was in this position, like about to start calling his own plays. I'm hearing a lot of praise. Nick Foles saying he's got a photographic memory, very bright guy. A lot of people from the Green Bay organization, very high praise for the guy. So I'm here for it. The only thing that I'm really starting to get a little annoyed with is all these people in the media. Media's media, of course. But talking about possibly a second-round quarterback for the Eagles, like, come on. That absolutely ridiculous that those claims are out there.
Well, I will say this, and I'm not trying to throw anybody at the bus. But so for those who don't know, that the whole story started with Jeremy Fowler of ESPN speculating that other teams around the league are expecting the Eagles to draft a quarterback. And then apparently certain people in the Philadelphia sports market decided to take that speculative reporting and extrapolate it into, are the Eagles preparing for life after Jalen Hurts, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. We have no reason to plan for life after Jalen Hurts at this point. What is it about Jalen Hurts that makes people want to so quickly divorce the guy? Like, what has he done? What is wrong with the current quarterback that you are so anxious to find who could replace him?
Yeah, I think a lot of it also has to do right now, the whole contract situation. Are they going to extend him? I believe they will. I believe they should. He really has not given you anything to say he's not your guy. 2 Super Bowls, won MVP of that Super Bowl. And that's why I do think it's kind of a risky call with the whole Mannion situation, even though I do have faith in him. But look, we just saw Jalen Hurts not play great, honestly, under a first-time play caller, and we're going to run that back and do it again. I have faith in Jalen. Jalen's my quarterback. He's my guy. It's just it's a gutsy move from Howie and the staff.
It's a gutsy move. I will say that you're 100% right. Some of this stuff, I just feel like we live in a world where people are they're more interested in being controversial than they are about facts and information. And
clickbait. That's all it
is. It's a clickbait culture now. It's a shame because literally it was a speculative report. It was not an actual, here is facts and information. But what can you do? He's Alex Berard, back in 97.3 ESPN studios. Josh Hennig hanging out with you live at Excursion Park in Seattle City. Another great day for the Mike Seafood Run Walk for Autism today. We got one more hour of the show coming up next on 97.3 ESPN. Don't forget, in about 30 minutes from now, we will hear from NBA insider Brandon Scoopy Robinson on the state of the Sixers in the NBA at the All-Star break. All that and more so to come. Hanging with Hennig, 97.3 ESPN FM. Streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studios at Josh Hennig.
Sunday morning in the locker with Billy Schwein, producer Alex Berardis, and my intern Aaron Ewing join me in the studio. We'll recap the week in Phillies sports and talk about all the hot topics. We'll hear from two-time Stanley Cup champion from the Pittsburgh Penguins, Grant Jennings. Hour 2, Mr. Negadelphia, PJ Korda checks in, brought to you by the Vassar Pool Service.
So listen to The Locker Room with my dad, Billy Schwein, Sunday morning, 10 a.m. to noon on 97.3 ESPN.
Because nothing could be finer than talking sports with a Schweiner.
Listen up. The soap you shower with? It's you probably haven't even questioned what bar of soap you lather up with. Let's face it, most guys don't. But now you can upgrade your shower game with Dr. Squatch Natural Soap. I'm talking about natural, nourishing, cold-pressed, hand-cut soap for men. Men who use their hands. Men who build things. Men who catch foul balls without spilling their beer. You won't just smell good either. Your skin will be healthier and more nourished. We make our soaps with natural ingredients from the earth. Ingredients like oils, plants, goat's milk, Greek yogurt, oatmeal, shea butter, and citrus. Turn your shower game up to 11. Get ready to step out of the shower feeling alive.
Hey, this is Josh Hennig. Go to my social media and click my exclusive Dr. Squatch link for your chance to save $10 off your next order of great natural soap, deodorant, and much more. Only with Dr. Squatch.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I opened a restaurant and needed everything. Menus, signage, catering brochures.
Everything and then some.
I went to Staples. They printed it all and even suggested takeout menus.
One money pit with a side of fries.
But now at Staples, you get up to $125 off custom print orders.
$125 off. Now you're cooking. Brand your business in a big way at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in store, online, or in the app by 4/4 to unlock. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-923-6829 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-923-6829. That's 800-923-6829. What do you have to lose? Call 800-923-6829. Again, 800-923-6829.
For over 135 years, First Bank of Sea Isle City has proudly served Cape May County with a commitment to maintaining a hometown feel. We provide secure, convenient deposit and loan products every day. We're more than just a bank. We're a trusted community partner, offering personalized banking solutions that make life easier for local families of all ages. First Bank of Sea Isle City. Look for our lighthouse in your neighborhood and discover what makes us different.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
South Jersey's official play-by-play home of the Eagles, Sixers, and Flyers.
At 0 point would I ever consider not being a fan of the team.
97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey.
Finally! This is Hanging with Hennig.
I have friends everywhere.
On 97.3 ESPN Radio, South Jersey.
In New Jersey. Am I right? Yeah.
Live feed on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
It seems to run on some form of electricity. Well, you're not wrong.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together.
Now, here's your host.
He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone!
Josh Hennig.
Josh Hennig still broadcasting live from Mike's Seafood Run Walk for Autism event. Another great day here in Sea Isle City. And I got the man himself, Mike, joining us here on 97.3 ESPN. First of all, Mike, another great turnout again here in Sea Isle. And the positive was it was warmer than last year.
Absolutely. Just think if it was a week ago, it was 9 degrees out. I mean, we were blessed with this kind of weather today, and what a wonderful turnout. We had close to 5,000 people for our run and walk. That's really great. People coming out for a great cause, supporting autism awareness and raising funds for autism.
You know, I was mentioning before you came on earlier in the day about how, an event like this, it really depends on the community supporting it. It's everybody chipping their part in, and just to see so many people, not just from Seattle, but from the area as well, coming to support, it just kind of gives you a little bit more like, belief in humanity,
Absolutely. When you come here, your heart fills up with just everybody that comes here. Everybody's smiling, everybody's laughing. It's just a great day. Everything from the mummers band, string band playing music, to the raffles, to the face painters, clowns, and the superheroes and the princesses. It makes a true family day here in Seattle. We're very lucky that we have the support we do of the city of Seattle City, Mayor Desiderio and George Stavastano. I mean, I don't know where other town I could go to put on an event like this. Right off the boardwalk, and having these 3 huge heated tents paid for by the First Bank of Seattle is just huge, helping us out to offset that expense. And just a great day with the food donated from US and Cisco and all. It just makes a fun day for everybody. And to have like Jason Kelsey and Kylie come out here today and support the event. I don't know if you got a chance to speak with them, but Jason and Kylie were here, and
I didn't even see them. Shelby said she saw them earlier.
Yeah, there were so many people here.
Yeah.
I mean, but you got just to say something about them. They take the time out to take pictures, to shake hands, to hear people's personal stories.
Yep.
They are down to earth. Seattle is blessed that they chose Seattle as their second home. I mean, and Jason always says to me, Mike, I didn't know nothing about autism. You started this 18 years ago. Mr. Laurie started this 14 years ago.
Yep.
He said, and I think a lot of people don't know, Jeffrey Laurie's brother Peter's autistic. That's why he but you can't kick a field goal in Lincoln Financial or on the sidelines. There's autism banners there every game. And like I said, especially behind the goalpost, you don't miss that autism. That power, and that's powerful just in itself. To put that in people's mind. And I've been a season ticket holder now for 37 years. So that just makes me proud that not only the Eagles, I support them. I have 6 season tickets. But to know that Mr. Laurie supports them and that team that you supports that cause.
And, I think that's the beauty of it, which is, someone like Jason, he does his fundraiser every summer.
Yes.
But that's got a lot of, big picture support. But what makes Mike Seafood One Walk for Autism special is this is a real community day. The whole town opens for the weekend. The whole month of January, it's like, you can go sleep on Landis Avenue, take a nap on the street. But this weekend, the whole town reopens up, and it all surrounds the fundraising for this event. And that's what makes it beautiful, while someone like Jason could do what he's doing, this is truly Seattle and the community coming together.
Yes, it's alive. Seattle comes alive for one weekend over the winter, and this is the weekend. And like I said, the people come here and they support this. The city supports it. You can't do it without the support you get. It's just amazing. Like I said, we're blessed. I mean, 1 week ago it was 9 degrees.
Yeah.
Wind chill -14. A week later, it's 45 degrees, and all I seen all day was smiles.
Yeah.
It's just really special. I mean, like I said, we're blessed to have us. And 18 years ago when I started, I was hoping to raise $200 and get $2,000 and get a couple hundred people.
Yeah.
Now, we're getting 5,000 people coming out, do the run and walk, and there's many more just on the run route, cheering in their loved ones. And, it's just become like I said, special. The city, you got to give them a lot of credit. With all the ice and snow we had on the boardwalk and the streets, they came out here in full force, and they weren't going to be denied. They cleaned this place up.
They did.
So it's nice to see. It's just as important to them as me and all the people we help, the special services schools, autism support groups, and families of special needs children. So it's a team effort to help people that are dealing with multiple disabilities, a lot of them. So it's good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Mike, I appreciate you taking a minute to stop by and recap the day. Obviously, it's always good to see more and more people come out for this each year. And I don't know if it's a trend, but I feel like every year I've been out here, it's gotten warmer each year.
No, maybe that's getting like that. But I really want to also thank 97.3. No, I want to thank ESPN for coming out. I mean, this is, I guess, your third year maybe now?
Third straight year, yep.
Third straight year coming out and support this event. I mean, I seen you stand out here in a lot of cold weather. I mean, and it's just really heartwarming that you guys think as much as this as I do. Like I said, it's a team effort, and I appreciate you guys. I really do. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for supporting autism awareness.
Thank you, Mike. Well, we appreciate everything you're doing, not just for Seattle, but for the community as a whole here in South Jersey. Again, Mike Seafood, One Walk for Autism here on 97.3 ESPN. Mike, thanks a lot, man.
Thank you, sir.
Josh Hennig hanging out at Excursion Park in Seattle City. Final hour of the show here on 97.3 ESPN. We'll check back on the text board in just a minute, 609-403-0973. As we've been talking throughout the day, not just about the great fundraising for this day, but about all of the latest with the Eagles and the Phillies throughout the day. And you heard him mention about the fact that, someone like Jason Kelsey stopped by, him and his wife Kylie, and it just goes to show you that, you have an athlete like the Kelseys. Jason and his wife was an athlete too. People forget that she was a great athlete at Cabrini. So I don't want to discount her athleticism. At this point, she actually might be the better athlete at this point than he is at this point in time in their. You have that many kids, you got to be an athlete, right? But anyway, no, but seriously, for someone like that to come by and support what Mike is doing with Mike Seafood, One Walk for Autism is also a great thing as well. And if you've read my articles at 973ESPN.com, you know that, Jason is someone who also frequents Mike Seafood. So it's not just him supporting the cause, but it's also, Jason supporting the local community here in South Jersey. Back to the text board, 609-403-0973. I know the texts have been piling up throughout the last hour, so I don't want to ignore everybody listening on 97.3 ESPN FM as we are streaming live on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle, and on YouTube and X at Josh Hennig and the Dr. Squatch virtual studios. I see some comments coming in on the YouTube stream as well. We'll get to those in just a bit. On the text board, Joey D. and Ventnor chimes in at 609-403-0973, says, Eagles always draft quarterbacks. Jalen is Super Bowl MVP. I'm shaking my head because technology is not in your favor today. Listen, we worked through it, Joey D. But you're right, though. The Eagles do always draft quarterbacks. They just always draft them high. And I think that's where that's where, to use a fancy word, I know some of you out there are going to be mad at me, but that's where the conflation is, okay? Because you can draft a player, but it doesn't mean he has to be a starter. So we got to stop acting like if the Eagles were to, they drafted Tanner McKee, he's still the backup, right? You don't have to draft a guy to make him a starter. I think the problem is that there has been a narrative pushed by people in the Philly sports media market trying to project that Jalen might be in trouble. They're going to have to give him a contract extension. And it's like, look around the NFL. We had Andy McNamara from the Sporting News on the last hour. We've talked to many people over the years here on 97.3 ESPN. You know how many organizations would love to have a quarterback who helped you win a championship? Look at Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold won a championship, the Super Bowl this year. He failed with the Jets, with the Panthers. Well, what have those organizations ever done? Well, Panthers have never won a Super Bowl. Jets haven't won a championship since 1969, Joe Namath? So why are we so ready to accept a narrative about Jalen Hurts' future that is, I would consider it fugazi. I would consider it ridiculous. To me, I look at it like this. The Eagles love to draft the best player available. They always have, they always will. And you know what? When they drafted Jalen Hurts, and Nick Foles talked about on his podcast, Nick Foles came out and said, look, they drafted Jalen Hurts because he reminded them of Russell Wilson. Well, if the Eagles look at a player and says that guy reminds me of somebody, then why does it matter? And by the way, maybe you draft a quarterback and then you trade Tanner McKee for draft picks. Ever think about that? That might be a possibility as well. Thanks to Joey D. and Ventnor for tuning in. More text coming in at 609-403-0973. George Summers Point chimes in, hey, Josh, want to give you a shout out to you and the entire 97.3 ESPN team for supporting the local community and the good work that Mike Seafood does for autism and special needs kids throughout the year. Thanks to them and to you. That's from George Summers Point. But George, thank you for chiming in on the text board. I don't always get positive text. So, it's always nice when someone actually sends something positive into the text board. Over on the YouTube stream, Griffiths chimes in and asks, are the Eagles going to keep A.J. Brown? I don't know if they're going to keep A.J. Brown. I think it's a 50-50 proposition. I think it comes down to, do the Eagles look at A.J. Brown as a problem? I think that's the real question. A.J. Brown, I personally can't take anything he says that seriously because I think he is a fraudulent individual. I think anybody who claims to read inner excellence and then throw Bible verses on social media and then purge his entire social media, I think that's an individual who likes attention and he's not very serious about the things he claims that he's serious about. And listen, I'm not trying to project anything on AJ. I don't know him personally. I've never met AJ Brown in my life, but I think it's very suspicious that AJ Brown seems to think that it's okay to say one thing on social media and then say something else when a microphone is in front of him or a camera is in front of him. I just don't have time for that kind of individual. I think that you should say what you mean and mean what you say. That's what my pop-up always told me. That's what I grew up with. That's the way you should handle your business. And I don't think AJ is that kind of person. I know Jason Kelsey said on a different platform that, AJ is the kind of guy who wears his heart on his sleeve and he's a very, he's a very passionate guy. Well, you can wear your heart on your sleeve, but you can still be a functional, competent professional. And, I think it's very convenient that we as a society are very quick to give people an out for their bad behavior or for their immaturity just because they have talent. Talent shouldn't be an excuse for being immature. Talent should not be an excuse for not putting out your best effort. I mean, you're being paid millions of dollars. If you have trouble getting up in the morning because you're caught in your feelings, I can't rock with that. That's not simple enough to me. And you know what? From everything I have heard, and I've been told on and off the record by a lot of people who know a lot more than I do, from what I understand, A.J. Brown is apparently a great human being. So I'm not going to sit here and deny that, he is somebody who I just don't think A.J. Brown is a bad person. I just think that he is someone who I don't think he has enough people in his life who are being honest with him. I think our society has too many yes people. And I think that's the problem. And so then it comes back to the Eagles. Do the Eagles keep him or not? I think the Eagles got to decide is his inability to be a responsible adult at times. And I mean, he has been accused of quitting on routes. He has been accused of a lot of things over the years. And so is that enough for me to pivot off of him? He's one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. But do you need him? You just hired an offensive coordinator who showed you that you can win football games with subpar receivers. No offense to the Packers, but Christian Watson and Romeo Dobbs and Dante Wicks and Bo Melton, they are nowhere close to what Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown are.
Josh, I'm curious on what you
ahead,
would
Alex.
think about this. What if Howie calls up the guys over in Las Vegas and says, hey, you're about to draft a number 1 overall quarterback who's got nobody but Brock Bowers to throw to. You also got a guy on the defensive side of the ball who has went out and said he is never going to play another snap in Las Vegas and Max Crosby. Is that something that the Eagles can entertain there?
I mean, I certainly wouldn't be against it. I think Crosby is at that age where he's not too old. He's not too, he's not one of these guys like an aging player. So if you told me the Eagles this offseason swapped A.J. Brown for Max Crosby, I certainly wouldn't be mad. I think pass rush is certainly one of the biggest problems. The question is, one, would A.J. Brown be amenable to renegotiating his contract and make it less of a cap hit for the Eagles? Because it would be a huge dead cap hit if they trade him right now. So do we believe that A.J. Brown will be amenable to that? I think that would be my one question, Alex. The other question I would have is, what does Vic Fangio think of Max Crosby? Is Max Crosby, I think he'd be a perfect fit for this team in terms of being a locker room guy, in terms of his, relentless aggression that he has as a pass rusher and as a run stopper. But what does Vic Fangio think of him? Now, I personally think, Alex, it's a good question because I think Crosby will be a great addition for this team. I would love to see Max Crosby is everything the Eagles stand for. He's an amazing human being. He's a guy who's very active in the community. I believe he's 28, 29 years old. So he's not old at all when it comes to football years. So if you told me that was the move, Alex, I would say, cool, man. I would just ask for what am I getting? Am I getting another draft pick in return in that swap? Or are we talking about just player for player, you think?
I honestly think we might have to give up another pick or something like that just because there is that baggage that comes with A.J. Brown. And I feel like Max Crosby is still more in his prime than I would say A.J. Brown is. But I think they would have to probably wait until that June 1st, I believe, deadline for that cap hit to not go in.
Well, that's why I said, would A.J. Brown be amenable to renegotiating that contract, right? Giving him maybe a chunk of money up front to renegotiate the deal so it would be less of a cap hit because you could always do that.
Yeah, and then also on the Vic Fangio part, not to be that guy or anything, but
be that guy. Go for it.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like if we were to trade for Max Crosby, he's going to be here longer than Vic Fangio is going to be here. And we've been alluding to it this whole show today, the youth movement of the coaching staff. I think this year Eagles are going to be looking for defensive coordinators going forward. And honestly, Vic, if you don't like a guy like Max Crosby, which I don't know who wouldn't, I don't really care. He's going to be here longer than you're going to be here. So we're getting our guy.
That's more than fair, Alex. I don't mind that take at all because the rumor for Fangio might have considered retiring after this year. Now, I will also say this. Have you heard the rumor that Jim Schwartz is going to take off this year from coaching, Alex?
I would love that too.
And then he might come to Philadelphia next year and replace Fangio.
See you, Vic. Sorry. If that's the case.
Well, I'm just saying that's one of the rumors out there that Schwartz is going to take a year off from coaching, wait to see what happens with the Eagles next offseason. Because for those who don't know, Schwartz thought he was going to get the Browns head coaching job. He feels like he was misled by the Browns organization. Schwartz, the former Eagles defensive coordinator, when they won the Super Bowl back for the 2017 season. And by the way, when Schwartz won that championship years ago, he didn't have cornerbacks like Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean on that defense. So, and you just saw what he did this year with guys like Myles Garrett and defensive rookie of the year, Carson Schlesinger. Yeah. So, I do think that, it's not the end of the world replacing Fangio, but it will be hard. I just think the bigger question is going to be when it comes to a trade, again, a projected trade. We're not reporting anything here on the 97.3 ESPN, but Alex, it's a good question by you. Alex Barr is back in the 97.3 ESPN studios. Josh Hennig live here at Excursion Park in Seattle City as they are starting to break down everything from the Mike Seafood Run Walk for Autism. Mike from Mike Seafood told us that about 5,000 people they think came out here. So another great day, because any day you can do something for children with disabilities, it is a good day. Hanging with Hennig here on 97.3 ESPN. Of course, being brought to you by my friends over at Prevail Nutrition. PrevailNutrition.club is my go-to choice for meals and food service online. It should be yours as well. Delivered to Atlantic, a couple of Lake counties, plus Ocean City. That is Prevail Nutrition. Also, don't forget about Caesar Sportsbook, the only sportsbook app offering you Caesar's rewards. Bet like a Caesar and earn perks on every game, like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app. Use my promo code Radio250BM and get your first bet match as a bonus bet up to $250, whether you win or lose. See Caesars.com/promo for full terms. If you or someone who has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. And don't forget about my guy, Art Masker, of Work of Art Construction. As the tundra all over South Jersey thaws out, Find out what Work of Art Construction can do for you. Art Masker and his 40 years of construction experience can give you a new back deck, install new windows, maybe want a makeover for your kitchen or bathroom. Well, Work of Art Construction has got you covered. 609-788-4271. Tell them you heard about them on 97.3 ESPN and receive 10% off your next home project. 609-788-4271. Beautify your home with Work of Art Construction. Find out how Art Masker can make your home look like truly a work of art. Coming up on the other side, we'll get more into the NBA. You might not know this, but the NBA All-Star Game is this weekend and probably going to have pretty poor ratings today because nobody actually cares about a guy named Carter Bryant in the dunk contest. But we'll start talking with Scoopy Robinson about it because the Sixers have lost 3 of their last 4 games going into the All-Star break. They had their worst loss in 519 matchups versus the Knicks on Wednesday night. They lost by 49 points. So who are the 76ers? What is the state of the Eastern Conference at the NBA All-Star break? My man, NBA insider Scoopy Robinson, joins us coming up next on 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City and streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio at Josh Hennig. Tired of cooking and planning all of your meals each and every day? You need Prevail Nutrition to simplify your life. For almost a decade, Prevail Nutrition is a local meal prep company located in South Jersey that allows customers to design their own meal plan. Or you can choose from a wide variety of chef-designed meals on their weekly changing Prevail Selects menu. You can order online for pickup or get free delivery on orders of over $50. Prevail Nutrition delivers to Atlantic and Cumberland counties along with Ocean City. Or you can pick up your meals every Monday and Friday. Learn more about how Prevail Nutrition can simplify your life. Visit their website at prevailnutrition.club. Check out Prevail Nutrition on Facebook and Instagram. Prevail Nutrition is my go-to choice for prepared meals and foods. Order online, like me, at prevailnutrition.club.
Making your home look brand new is what Work of Art Construction can do for you. Ready to remodel your bathroom or have a kitchen makeover? Art Masker has 40 years of experience in construction and knows how to make your home look like a work of art. Want to install a new back deck or invest in a new front door? Just call Art Masker at 609-788-4271 to learn more. Visit Work of Art Construction on Instagram to see how Work of Art Construction can make your home look brand new. Beautify your home with Work of Art. Call him at 609-788-4271 and let them make your home truly a work of art.
My brother, who's older, is a tough guy. He always gets me something, and I have to appreciate it. Hey, man, I got you this. It's a knife. It's a buck knife, like 11-inch Bowie knife. I know you like knives. I go, I do? He goes, well, at dinner, you're always like, can I have a knife?
David Spade, I Got a Feel For It tour. Saturday, March 7th, Ovation Hall and Ocean Casino Resort. Tickets are on sale now at theoceanac.com.
This Valentine's Day, celebrate the one you love the most with Hallmark cards at Walgreens. Valentine's Day is the best time to send your favorite person a reminder of just how much they mean to you. A Hallmark card is a super simple and beautiful way to say how grateful you are for the love you two share. Don't forget, Valentine's Day is Saturday, February 14. Visit Walgreens today to find a Hallmark card that shows just how much you care for them, because love lives here.
Something good to know from First Bank of Sea Isle City. We have all of today's innovative banking products just like the big banks, but we offer something they can't. A personal community focus. Let's get you started with Bill Pay. You save time when you pay your bills online. It's fast, easy, and convenient. First Bank of Sea Isle City. A community bank that delivers more for you every day. Personal service, today's technology, from the people who truly care. Learn more at firstbankseaisle.com.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
Big news! South Jersey Energy Service Plus is now called HomeServe. They've proudly been part of the HomeServe family since 2017. And as they change their name, rest assured, you'll continue receiving their top-notch service you love. The same professional, local technicians you know will keep delivering world-class heating, cooling, and water heater services throughout southern New Jersey. Visit HomeServeSJ.com.
Service provided by Frank Siderio Jr., Master HVAC Contractor, license number 19HC0021150.
At Target, we're unlocking all the feels this Valentine's Day. It's the perfect time to spread extra love and spoil everyone on your list with unforgettable gifts. First, give a cuddle-worthy surprise with the cutest plush toys, or get party ready and treat yourself to stylish women's dresses you'll heart. Both 20% off. Then dive into the ultimate cozy celebration with your faves with 30% off select women's pajamas. There's something sweet for all your special someones, even you. Find Valentine's Day gifts for everyone at Target.
Caesars Sportsbook, the only sportsbook app with Caesars rewards. Bet like a Caesar and earn perks on every game, like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code Radio250BM and get your first bet match as a bonus bet up to $250, whether you win or lose. Open to new users in New Jersey who are 21 or older. Minimum odds minus 500. Awarded as a non-withdrawable bonus bet that expires 14 days after receipt. Bonus bet amount not returned for winning bets. Void where prohibited. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now back to Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Josh Hennig back here, broadcasting live from Sea Isle City Excursion Park. By the way, shout out to my guy, Nick at Zia Nicola Pizza, for supplying us food today. I know Shelby's been munching on the mozzarella sticks. I'll chow down more when the show is actually done. I'm like one of those people who can't eat before they play a sport. I still got that mentality from when I was a kid, even though I haven't played sports in 20 years at this point, unless you consider sparring, playing sports, but I don't really consider that seems like a team sport, like when you're playing football or basketball or baseball. So I still got that mentality where it's like I can't eat before or during playing. But thanks to Nick from Zia Nicola Pizza, the best pizza in Sea Isle City, located at 43rd and the Boardwalk. Right now, we're going to go back to the phone line. The NBA All-Star Game is this weekend. Of course, you can hear all the coverage right here on 97.3 ESPN. Tyrese Maxey will be one of the starters in the game tomorrow. And joining us right now on the phone line, NBA insider Scoop B. Robinson joining us on 97.3 ESPN. My friend, how you doing today? Well, I hear him, but I don't know if he hears me, which is where the conundrum is at this point. Brandon, you got me over there. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Alex, I want you to see the switch to your right. Flip it up and down once or twice, and then we'll hopefully maybe that'll fix the problem here. Is Josh Hennig hanging out with you on 97.3 ESPN as we try to connect with NBA insider Brandon Scoopy Robinson, kind enough to join us here on 97.3 ESPN. My friend, how you doing today? All right, so we're gonna have to pot him down and try to figure out why on earth the phone is not working again. I'm gonna go with the working assumption that it's probably something to do with the fact that I'm on the stream, and maybe it's not just the phone lines, because this is now the third different person this has happened to. You know, one time it might be someone's phone, two times it might be something else. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get real weird here on 97.3 ESPN. All right, Alex, here's what's gonna happen. Alex back in the 97.3 ESPN studio. You, my friend, are going to put Scoop B on hold. Ask him to hold on for a minute. Then you are going to do the switch thing as if we're going to be on the access. While I am talking on the radio, I am literally going to switch microphones. So, because we don't want to have dead air on 97.3 ESPN, 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle. Alex back in the studio. We are going to play a quick word from Billy Schweiman, his show tomorrow, while I switch microphones to the access so we can talk to Scoop B here on 97.3 ESPN.
Sunday morning in the locker with Billy Schwein, producer Alex Berardis, and my intern Aaron Ewing join me in the studio. We'll recap the week in Philly sports and talk about all the hot topics. We'll hear from two-time Stanley Cup champion from the Pittsburgh Penguins, Grant Jennings. Hour 2, Mr. Negadelphia, PJ Corda checks in, brought to you by the Vassar Pool Service.
So listen to the locker room with my dad, Billy Schwein, Sunday morning from 10 a.m. to noon on 97.3 ESPN.
Because nothing could be finer than talking sports with a Schweiner.
That should be better. All right, now we get that's better. So let's try to go to Scoop B. Robinson. I hope.
I heard you come in and out, and now you're out.
All right. Well, I thought this would fix it by flipping it over. I know that part's working. I hear him connected on the phone, but I don't actually hear him hearing me. Is that correct, Alex?
I can hear you.
Thumbs up or not? Yeah, I'm not fully sure what the issue is at this point because I literally switched it over from one to the other. Oh, well, I can't
Can you hear me?
them then. You got me, my friend. I heard you for a moment.
I can hear you.
I don't know why I can't hear myself, but I know that I think you're on the line. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. We're making this work through the magic of technology, me having to reroute things 20 ways from Sunday. So I wanted to ask you about this because we don't have a lot of time. We just burned about 10 minutes trying to make connections work. So, for you, NBA All-Star break is here. Sixers, they've lost 3 of the last 4 since trading Jared McCain. Do you believe trading Jared McCain was that much of a detriment to the Sixers locker room?
I think he was a connector in the locker room for sure, and I don't think he hurt you. But I do know that there were conversations about trades in the background that the Sixers were looking to make, and they didn't at the deadline, and here we are now.
When you think about the Sixers, Daryl Morey came out and said they were trying to make other trades and they couldn't get it done. How much is that an indictment of the Sixers to trade a guy like Jared McCain, get draft picks for him, and then not make another move in an Eastern Conference where the Celtics got better, the Cavs got better, most of the teams in the East got better, even the Knicks got better. I think Jose Alvarado is a great pickup.
Basketball is a business, and they thought that they had something, and they did it. There were conversations on a myriad of trades that were supposed to happen that didn't happen, and a lot of those times those trades come back to fruition in the summertime, either through free agency, through trades. So I definitely look at the Eastern Conference, and you're right, those teams did get better. I think that Paul George's suspension is really going to test their fortitude as to whether or not they can be a cohesive team going into the playoffs. I looked at them as a second-half team that could make a push, and I still do believe that. But that trade or sending McCain to Oklahoma made Oklahoma better, and he was the exact piece that they needed.
When you think about the Eastern Conference moving forward, which of the 2 moves do you think was bigger for their team? Was it the Celtics getting Vucevic or the Knicks getting Alvarado?
I actually thought it was the Cleveland Cavaliers getting James Harden.
Well, I purposely didn't include that one because to me that would be the obvious one. That's why I asked about the other two.
I think they both equally address the needs. I mean, I've covered Nikola Vucevic since he arrived in Chicago, and I knew the glue guy that he was on that team. and I'm around the Celtics quite a bit, and he was the center that they were missing. I feel like Alvarado was more of an insurance policy. It's a kind of balanced minutes for Jalen Brunson, and I think that they both got what they needed at the deadline.
When you think about the Eastern Conference at this point, you mentioned about James Harden going to the Cavs, but the Cavs also gave up a lot in order to make the salary cap numbers work for him. Did the Cavs give up too much to make it fit for Harden, or do you think they still have the firepower to make a deep run?
I think that they addressed two things. One, they got a playmaker that's going to benefit Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. And first of all, when Harden, anytime he plays with a big man, look at the progress of Ivica Zubac after coming from the Lakers onto the Clippers. And two, I think they're going to go after LeBron James in the summertime. And I think that a balance of LeBron, James Harden, and Donovan Mitchell in Cleveland is going to work wonders.
You mentioned about LeBron James.
And in the end,
go ahead.
You end up winning.
NBA insider Brandon Scoopy Robinson joining us here on 97.3 ESPN. You mentioned LeBron James. That is someone who you have been covering very closely for many years now. You know, you just mentioned about the fact that what his future is. It really does feel like the Lakers' tenure is coming to an end. Is that a fair assessment?
If the Los Angeles Lakers win a championship this year, I think it's hard for LeBron to not come back. However, realistically, the Western Conference is wide open, just like the Eastern Conference is wide open. If you go back to my reporting in July about the 4 teams who did contact his agent, Rich Paul, to kind of, I guess you could say, gauge his interest in staying, I can tell you that the Cavs, the Mavs, the Warriors, and the Clippers were those 4 teams that have reached out to him, and it goes back to my reporting in July. A lot of reporters are now picking up on that. That being said, I've had conversations with people in Cleveland who have assessed to me that they would welcome LeBron in with open arms, but that would come at a price cut, him going to Cleveland. In answer to your question about the Lakers, I look at the Los Angeles Lakers, and I think that they have not been on the same page since they let Dwight Howard and other guys walk in free agency some years back. And that was Rob Pelinka's and Jeannie Buss's doing. Based upon what I know in Los Angeles, I know there are guys that have been frustrated with the way the direction has been going. However, LeBron is enjoying
NBA insider Brandon Scoopy Robinson joining me here on 97.3 ESPN as we are finally, I believe, working through our technical issues here as we are broadcasting live for the Mike Seafood Run Walk. Well, the event's over, actually, but we're still out here with the 97.3 ESPN tent. A couple more, my friend, before I let you go, because I know you got a busy schedule, and I appreciate you carving out some time, even though it's been all the technical issues. For you, when you look around the Eastern Conference right now, you know, what are the Detroit Pistons, not just this year, but long term? Because I know we all look at guys like Cade Cunningham and JD, the big man down there. You know, what do you think they are beyond this year? Are they going to be a team that's going to be able to maintain being contenders? Are the San Antonio Spurs the biggest threat to the OKC Thunder in the West? The reason I ask that is because I look at guys like Castle, and I just think that guy is just a problem for the entire league. And if Wemby can stay healthy, I don't think the OKC Thunder match up well with him. I think they match up well with every other team but the Spurs. All right, my friend, before we let you go, and I appreciate you making some time for me here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. NBA All-Star Weekend, it really does feel like that there's a lot of people who maybe want to give it a chance, right? You know, I mean, the Rising Stars was fun last night, but the problem is you got a guy named Carter Bryant in the dunk contest today. So it's like, what can the NBA do to try to maybe get some, more mainstream interest, not just diehard fans caring about their All-Star game again? Follow him on X and Instagram at Scoop B. Check out Scoop B Radio on YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget about the website for all of his reporting. NBA insider Brandon Scoopy Robinson joined us here on 97.3 ESPN. I think his phone just dropped, so we're just gonna go to the commercial break because I think we've endured enough technical issues for one segment. Alex Berardis losing his mind back in the 97.3 ESPN studios. Hanging with Hennig, 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN and mobile app powered by First Bank and Seattle, streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studios at Josh Hennig.
Your go-to hangout spot for friends and family looking for a night out or to watch sports is located on the White Horse Pike in Galloway. Hangtime Bar and Grill features live music every Tuesday night, DJ Bingo every Wednesday night, and plenty of TVs to watch your favorite team play all year round. Plus, don't miss out on Hanging with Hennig broadcasting live at Hangtime Bar in Galloway. First weekend of the biggest college basketball tournament of the year on Saturday, March 21st. Check out Hangtime Bar and Grill on Facebook and Instagram to learn more about their weekly specials and one of the best happy hours in South Jersey on the White Horse Pike in Galloway at Hangtime Bar and Grill.
For 23 years, we've helped athletes at all levels of climbing performance methods, from youth to pros, increase maximum velocity, acceleration, vertical leaps, and general physical preparedness. We offer youth, high school, and pro college classes. Our proven results have earned national recognition from NFL coaches, sponsors, and a feature on ESPN Radio's Sports Science segment. You can contact me directly at 609-742-6190, or as always, visit us on our website, clinicperformancemethod.com.
At Target, we're unlocking all the feels this Valentine's Day. It's the perfect time to spread extra love and spoil everyone on your list with unforgettable gifts. First, give a cuddle-worthy surprise with the cutest plush toys, or get party ready and treat yourself to stylish women's dresses you'll heart. Both 20% off. Then dive into the ultimate cozy celebration with your faves with 30% off select women's pajamas. There's something sweet for all your special someones, even you. Find Valentine's Day gifts for everyone at Target.
Big news! South Jersey Energy Service Plus is now called HomeServe. They've proudly been part of the HomeServe family since 2017. And as they change their name, rest assured, you'll continue receiving their top-notch service you love. The same professional, local technicians you know will keep delivering world-class heating, cooling, and water heater services throughout southern New Jersey. Visit HomeServeSJ.com.
Service provided by Frank Siderio Jr., Master HVAC Contractor, license number 19HC0021150.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Be part of the magic at Storybookland in Egg Harbor Township. They're hiring ride operators and food and beverage staff for the season. So be there for the open interview day on Saturday, February 21st between 10 and 3. Whether you're 16, an active senior, or anywhere in between, if you're energetic and reliable, they'd love to meet you. Enjoy a flexible schedule, a supportive team, and top-notch training from certified theme park pros. Join the legendary Storybookland team. Open interview day Saturday, February 21st, 10 to 3. Learn more and apply now at storybookland.com.
Hey, it's Mike Gill. Have you checked out the most loved Indian restaurant in South Jersey? The Nizam's Indian Restaurant on Route 40 in Egg Harbor Township is amazing and ready to serve you delicious Indian dishes. NJ.com ranked them the #2 best restaurant in all of New Jersey. At Nizam's, they believe that dining is more than just great food. It's the whole experience. The Nizam's open 7 days a week from 11:30 a.m. to 9:30. Join them for a special lunch buffet on Sundays from 11:30 to 3. Visit thenizams.com for more information.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I opened a restaurant and needed everything. Menus, signage, catering brochures.
Everything and then some.
I went to Staples. They printed it all and even suggested takeout menus.
One money pit with a side of fries.
But now at Staples, you get up to $125 off custom print orders.
$125 off. Now you're cooking. Brand your business in a big way at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in store, online, or in the app by 4/4 to unlock. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Caesars Sportsbook, the only sportsbook app with Caesars rewards. Bet like a Caesar and earn perks on every game, like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code radio250BM and get your first bet match as a bonus bet up to $250, whether you win or lose. Open to new users in New Jersey who are 21 or older. Minimum odds -500. Awarded as a non-withdrawable bonus bet that expires 14 days after receipt. Bonus bet amount not returned for winning bets. Void where prohibited. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now back to Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
Who is right? You are an ox and a moron.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
Hello? Get back in the room.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
All right, Josh Hennig back here live from Excursion Park in CLC. We were out here today all day for the Mike Seafood Run Walk for Autism. Alex brought us back in the 97.3 ESPN studios. Thanks again to the city of Sea Isle City, as well as the folks from Mike Seafood for helping get us set up today here as we broadcasted live on 97.3 ESPN. Also, thanks to NBA insider Brandon Scoopy Robinson for joining the show. My buddy Andy McNamara from the Sporting News. John Leonardo, of course, he'll be fighting on Saturday, March 7th, Tropicana Showroom in Atlantic City. Of course, Box Insider Promotions, another great fight card. We'll be interviewing more fighters over the coming weeks. coming up here on 97.3 ESPN. Alex Berard is back in the 97.3 ESPN studio. All right, Alex. Couple things before I let you go, although I think I just had an internet issue. Alex, you got me over there?
Yeah, I got you, buddy.
All right, well, I don't know if it's just my computer or something happened with the internet, but it looks like everything glitched because my Zeta is frozen and my computer won't let me go back to the StreamYard screen for some reason. So, got to make sure I still got you.
Oh,
so
there you go.
We got me?
We got you. Yeah, we got you.
All right. Well, if I got to switch back to the Axis, we can always do that. It's just cleaner audio this way. Alex, a couple things before we let you go. First of all, so is USA playing hockey today or not? I'm a little confused with the Olympic schedule here.
I believe they are. I was listening to the locker room with Billy Schwein before coming in today, and Aaron Ewing said they were supposed to be playing today. So, I mean, I'm going to take a look. But the biggest thing that I've seen from this Olympics that's kind of just taken over, yes, Denmark, 3:10, USA plays them, has been the Ilya I'm going to butcher his name so badly, but
the figure skater.
Yes, this figure skater who is all world, backflips, quad, I don't know, lingo, but I know this guy was that guy. And what happened?
I'll tell you what happened. He choked under the pressure.
Jeez.
I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm just keeping it real with you, No,
I mean I even heard him say it. He said the pressure of the Olympics versus all the other things he's been in is just completely different. But I watched some of the highlights of it, and you could just tell like he was looking wobbly throughout the entire thing. He wasn't on it. He didn't have his A stuff.
No, he didn't. And I think part of the problem is that, people don't realize how difficult it is for these athletes. They train their entire lives for one moment. If they're not mentally in it, in the moment, it completely falls apart. And I think that for someone like him, his skill set is such a high risk, high reward skill set. When you're someone who depends on such difficult jumps and moves, it's like a pitcher who has a complicated pitch, and the moment he can't throw that pitch anymore.
Seems like we lost Josh there for a second, but I think I'll take over for however much we got here. But I think this Ilya guy, he's a great athlete. All the things I've seen from him do, he's been great. It sucks to see that in the biggest moment of his life, he just crumbled. But I think he's a young guy. He's got all the potential in the world. Again, don't know that much about figure skating, but I know what I know, a little bit about it. But yeah, USA versus Denmark today at 3:10. USA, they got a lot of studs on this team. Austin Matthews, captain, the Chuck brothers, Quinn Hughes on the back end. They got a lot of talent. The only thing is they don't play Team Canada in the round robin. So the only time we could play Canada is if both of us move on. Hopefully it's in a gold medal game because who wouldn't want to see that? Team USA versus Team Canada. Obviously the 2010 Olympics gold medal game, Team Canada scored Sidney Crosby the golden goal. And then we just saw with the what was it called? The Four Nations. That's what it was. Four Nations last year. What an atmosphere that was. Now, obviously, it's not going to be the same in Italy when, you don't have the same thing. But if we can get a Team USA versus Team Canada gold medal game of the first Olympics back with NHL caliber talent, I think that's just, you couldn't ask for much more. Josh, you're back. Do we got you? Yeah, Josh is a little low, but this happened the last time, but then he kicked up. But Josh, I've just been talking.
Yeah, you got me now.
There we go. I was talking about, while we lost you for a second there, how big a gold medal game between Team USA and Team Canada could be with all the NHL talent that is now back in the Olympics.
Yeah, I look at it like this, Alex. I think that, having the guys back in the Olympics is such a huge deal that I don't even care about the when they return right now. Like, I just want to see – I love the Four Nations last year so much. I love the idea that all these guys are telling the NHL, we're taking a break to represent our country. We'll be back later. I like that.
Yeah, it's like I did say, though, the atmosphere is not going to be the same just because, you know, those games were in Montreal and in Boston as opposed now it's in Italy, so that, like, atmosphere isn't going to be the same, but it's still going to be a raucous crowd. If we do get that, I mean, look, we just had Team Finland beat Team Italy 11-0. Not that, you know, Team Italy some juggernaut, but there's a lot of talent. Team Sweden, I think, is a team that is being overlooked by Team USA and Team Canada. Guys like William Karlsson, Victor Hedman, they just got back. Erik Karlsson on the back end. They have a lot of talent for Team Sweden. I think they're a team to look out for who could possibly upset some of these bigger teams.
All right, well, we're going to wrap up the show here on 97.3 ESPN as we have survived more technical issues than I did last week, which is amazing because I had no board op last week. So shout out to Alex for holding the fort down as we shuffled wires and cables and things around. Thanks to Shelby. She doesn't want to be on camera, but I still say thank you to her. She's been a great help today here for me here at Excursion Park in Seattle City. And she's absolutely right, Alex. Pretty much everyone bailed on us once this event ended. So it's just us and the people walking their dogs here in Seattle City next to Excursion Park. Thanks to Alex. Thanks to Shelby for all your help today. And thanks to all of you listening on 97.3 ESPN. I will be filling in for Mike Gill all next week, 2 to 6 p.m. on 97.3 ESPN. Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe, stay warm. And I'll talk to you Monday at 2 o'clock on 97.3 ESPN.
Sunday morning in the locker with Billy Schwein, producer Alex Berardis, and my intern Aaron Ewing join me in the studio. We'll recap the week in Phillies sports and talk about all the hot topics. We'll hear